something called operational big data technologies and analytical big data technologies. And if you look at it from something called artificial intelligence to something like NoSQL, databases, something like R programming, something like data lakes, and you look at something called predictive analytics, the way it has come up, Apache Spark. So many new things have come up in last 1 year or so. So that if you look at these technologies, we've been talking a lot about the descriptive, big data, predictive, and what you call all other technologies which are coming in blockchain, for that matter. But again, how do we implement it? How do we really convert them so that companies at all levels can benefit from them? In fact, in India, large companies have an upper hand in use of technologies, but then they are limited by the kind of people they hire. And now it is the duty of institutions like ours to provide that right human resource to those companies. For smaller companies, once again, the problem is how much to invest in technology, the capital part. So again, each of these technologies, now with open source technologies like R coming in, companies are in a position to actually understand more as to how to use big data, which is being generated on a regular basis. So I'll not take much time here. You've got experts, Mr. Lalit Yagnik and Ms. Anuka Kumar, and we have the third expert, Mr. Surya Gaur, who is going to speak on, who's ex-research scientist from Carolina Institute of Technology, USA, who will be discussing throughout the day. So I hope it's going to be a wonderful day for the participants, and they'll be able to find out some solutions to their problems, and probably they'll be able to find out some new ideas which can be worked upon by them wherever companies they are working with. They probably can find out new tools which they need to learn. So I think followed by a question answer session and a quiz which Mr. Nipet Dwivedi has planned. So please, I hope that this particular day would be useful to everybody, and we hope to organize such programs in future as well. So wish everybody all the best, and let's have a wonderful day of this program where we are going to understand big data analytics from beginning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir,
for enlightening us with your words of wisdom. Now I would like to request Professor Nipendra Dwivedi, convener of the event and in charge of PGDM Big Data Analytics, to give insights about big data. Please, sir. No, sir.
Okay. I think am I audible, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Honorable Director, sir, expert speakers, deans, registrar, faculty members, and participants, very good afternoon to one and all. Before starting my session, I would like to say a few things, and it's my pleasure to share that more than 800 candidates registered in this certificate program from approx 300 different reputed institutes across India. Director sir is the real architect of this program and guided us with valuable insight. Candidates registered from IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, IIT BHU, Delhi University, BITS Pilani, IIIT Allahabad, Banasli Vidyapeeth, MT University Rajasthan, Central University Jharkhand, Allahabad University, Anna Malai University, Bhai Parmanand Institute Delhi, Kolkata University, Delhi Technical University, University of Jammu, Kite Group of Institutions, VIT Bhopal University, BIMTech, AKG Engineering College, JP Institute of Information Technology, University of Lucknow, UPS Dehradun. Long list is here. So now I would like to start my session. In fact, let me share the slide, please. So I think, is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, we have chosen the title of the program is Big Data Analytics from Beginning. So since we have chosen the topic Big Data Analytics from Beginning, so we have to start the concept from the scratch. And key term which is associated with Big Data Analytics is data. So first we need to discuss about the concept of data. So if we talk about the data, so data is simply raw fact stored somewhere, and we can make up the concept by seeing the visual representation of this image, you can see. And raw facts is scattered hither and thither, you can check it and you can see it. So data is power, there is no doubt in that. In digital world, data is more valuable than anything. So nowadays, data can be correlated with a new oil. We can think it data is the new oil, and here you can check it with the help of diagram. This is the system, and it generates the data, not oil. In fact, in the 18th century, oil was the world's most valuable resource, and it was the key functionality of everything. Without it, progress was not possible. But nowadays, in the 21st century, data are the most valuable thing. Information can be extracted from data just as energy can be extracted from oil. So traditional oil is finite and data availability seems infinite. We can say data is the most important business asset. But where we talk about the data, so one important thing is related with data, that is information. So we should discuss what's the difference between data and information. As we have discussed, data is the raw facts stored somewhere. So we have to discuss about the concept of information. Information is treated as processed data, or you can say meaningful data. So let's take one example here. Suppose there is like any class, and class contains 10 students, student 1, student 2, student 3, and so on, student 10. And suppose result has been declared, and student 1 is pass, and student 2 is fail, and again student 3 is pass, and student 4 is fail, and student 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 also pass. So if organization wants the overall result about this class, so we can calculate the passing percentage result as 8 by 10 into 100. We are finding here 80%. So in this example, we can say 80%, whatever we get the result, it is the information, and whatever we are having the entry treated as a data. But my dear friends, we can say data cannot be treated as always data, and information cannot be treated as always information. It depends how we are going to view that. For example, suppose if we talk about this entry, so this entry can be treated as data if we see it in the perspective of organization, because organization is not very much interested about individual result. Organization is interested about the overall result. But if you talk about this entry with respect to any particular student, so it is most valuable thing corresponding to any student, whether that student is pass or fail. So this same entry is treated as information if we view it from the perspective of a student, and same entry can be treated as a data if we view it from the perspective of organization. So we can say data cannot be treated as data, and information cannot be treated as information always. It depends how we are going to view that. So now I'm coming about the big data. So big data means big means huge, and data means raw facts. So it can be treated as huge raw facts. So big data contains structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So let's discuss first what is the concept of structured data, what is the concept of unstructured data. So, excuse me, please, no talking, please. So let's discuss about the concept of structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So first, I'm considering the structured data. Structured data is highly organized and formatted data, and it follows the relational data model concept. For example, suppose I'm taking this example. So all the data can be reflected here in the form of row and column, and it follows the constraint of relational data model. So without any hesitation, we can say it is the structured data, and it follows the 12 chords rule if we go in depth. And we can say with the help of this structured model, we can do the analysis of the data in very efficient manner. So that's the concept of structured data. But in simple language, if you want to understand without knowing the chords rule and other things, we can say if we are able to put the data in the row and column in this format, so we can say this is the structured data. So now I'm coming about unstructured data. So unlike the structured data, here, if you talk about the unstructured data, it has no predefined format or organization, or we can say it is highly organized. It's very difficult to collect and process the data, and it's very difficult to do the analysis of the unstructured data. So if you take the example of unstructured data, so if you talk about text files, if you talk about server, if you talk about sensor data, if you talk about images, if you talk about social media data, audio files, video files, all are examples of unstructured data. So now I'm coming about the semi-structured data. Semi-structured data falls in between structured and unstructured data. It doesn't obey the relational database constraint model, but yes, it has some organizational properties and a structure, and it follows certain structural properties so that we can do the analysis better than that of unstructured data, but we cannot do the analysis just like structured data. For example, CSV XML are the example of semi-structured data. If you talk about this example and treat it as CSV comma separated values, if we discuss it, so here we are making the 4 heads: hotels, hotel ID, city, URL. So if you see here the first line, so we are writing here hotel name, after that hotel ID, after that it is city, and after that URL. And these data are separated by comma. If you talk about the second line, in the same pattern, hotel name, and you can check it, hotel ID, then city, and after that URL. These data are separated by comma. So we can check it, at least there is certain structure here. And we can do the analysis better than that of unstructured data. So this can be treated as semi-structured data. We cannot put here in the row and column, and it doesn't satisfy the constraint of relational data model. But yes, it has certain structure till some extent, and we can say it is semi-structured data. Now I'm taking another example. It is XML, and if you take this example, so this is data and surrounded by the starting tag, and this is end tag, and this is again next tag, and this is end tag. So again, we are able to frame this data in some sort of a structure. Again, it is not, we are not able to show here to satisfy the constraint of relational data model. We cannot say it as a structured data, but yes, it has certain structure. So we can say it is the XML, and it comes under the domain, under the category of semi-structured data. So this is all about the semi-structured data and concept of semi-structured data. So if we take the example of big data, so this is social media, financials, oil and gas, aerospace, telco, public sector, media, entertainment. All these are example of big data. It contains structure, semi-structure, unstructured data. So without any hesitation, we can say these are the example of big data. But if we are discussing the concept of big data, so question arises, why we are discussing the big data? What's the purpose for the discussion of big data? Here I'm having certain visuals, and you can see visual representation, and this line shows the year 2003, 2010, 2015, 2020. And here we are showing connected devices per person. Again, this is total connected devices and world population. If you do the analysis based on this visual representation, so what we are finding, in 2003, connected devices per person was 0.08. And in 2010, connected devices per person was 1.84. And in 2015, connected devices per person was 3.47. And in 2020, it has become 6.58 connected devices per person. But if you talk about total connected devices, so in 2003, total connected devices was 500 million. And in 2010, total connected devices was 12.5 billion. And in 2015, total connected devices was 25 billion, but in 2020 it becomes 50 billion. So we can see how connected devices are increasing day by day. And if connected devices are increasing day by day, it's obvious huge data are generating in very exponential manner. As per one report, we are finding here the information, Facebook generates 10 terabyte daily, and Twitter generates 7 terabytes of the data daily. IBM claims 90% of the today's stored data was generated in just the last 2 years. So we can say how huge data is generating. That's why we need to discuss the concept of big data. So if we are talking about the big data, so at least we should be aware about the storage unit of this one, because these things have become part of general knowledge, and the storage units are bit, byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, zettabyte, and yottabyte. And you can see it 1 kilobyte equals to 1024 bytes, and 1 megabytes equals to 1024 kilobytes, and 1 gigabytes equals to 1024 megabytes. So what we are finding here, if we multiply by 1024 to previous unit, so it becomes the next unit. So in this way, we can at least remember, we can retain these facts in the mind about the unit of the storage. It's a good thing to remember it, and it's very useful thing. So in this way, we can retain the concept of the storage and unit of the storage in our mind. Now I'm coming about the characteristic of the big data, because whatever we are discussing the entity, we should be aware what are the main characteristic of this entity. We are discussing the entity big data, so we must be aware what are the main characteristic, what are the attributes of this entity for which we are going to discuss. So if we talk about the main characteristics of the big data, so it is characterized by 5 attributes: volume, velocity, variety, velocity, and value. You can count it here: 5 V's: V1, V2, V3, V4, and V5. So in this way, we can say these are 5 attributes, or you can say 5 V's characteristics of the big data. Somewhere it can be treated as 4 V's and then 5 V's. Some treat it as 7 V's and 10 V's. But fundamentally, I feel these 5 attributes are most important things related to treated as characteristic of big data. So I'm discussing one by one. It is a visual representation of the 5 attributes like volume, velocity, variety, value, and velocity. This is an other representation of the same thing. So first I'm considering the attribute that is volume of the big data. So it reflects the concept, what's the size of the big data? If the volume of the big data is high, if the size of the big data is high, then we can say the volume of the big data is high. If the size of the big data is low, then we can say volume of the big data is low. For example, here, if we talk about the total credit card transaction on a day within India, so it will reflect a huge data. So we'll say the volume of the big data is high. So we'll find the high volume data set. It's the one example. We can discuss it with the volume of big data. Next one is, this is another example. By end of 2020, we shall have 50 times the amount of data as that we had in 2011. This information I found based on certain report. So again, this is the example of volume. So it reflects, it generates huge data. So we can say the volume of the big data should be high, corresponding to this example. Next example I'm considering, Airbus generates 10 terabyte in every 30 minutes. So again, volume of the big data is high here in this example as well. Now, next parameter and next attribute is velocity of the big data. It shows what is the speed of the big data with which data is generated. If data is generated with high speed, then we'll say velocity of the big data is high. If that data is generated with low speed, then we'll say velocity of the big data is very low. For example, if we talk about the data generation about the Facebook post, so we can say we are getting the data with very much high speed, very high speed. So we can say the velocity of the big data is high. You can take another example. As per some report, I'm mentioning the fact here. Every minute, over 293 billion emails are sent and received daily. Again, this is the speed of the big data. How is the velocity of the big data? How huge data are generating? And in the next example, every minute we upload 300 hours of video on YouTube. So again, this is the speed of the big data generation and treated as velocity of the big data. And third example, almost 3.8 million queries per minute are performed on Google. So again, huge data is generated here, and this data generated per unit time, and here unit time is minutes, so we can treat it as a velocity of this huge data generation, the velocity of the big data. So these are the example of the velocity and can be explained like that. Now I'm considering the variety of the big data. So from different sources, we can collect the data. There are a great variety of the sources. For example, if data contains audio files and video files, so we can say these are the variety of the big data. Means data contains different type of data. In this example, data contains audio and video files. Next attribute is veracity of the big data. It's very important attribute, veracity of the big data. Veracity of the big data shows the purity of the data. What is the purity of the big data? It is reflected by the veracity of the big data. For example, suppose we are having a data, and that data, 80% data is noise, I mean to say meaningless, and 20% data is meaningful. So we'll say veracity of the data is very low. And in other words, if we say, if you are having data and 80% data is good data, meaningful data, and 20% data is noise, meaningless data. So we'll say veracity of the data is high, means big data is much more, big data is having very good veracity and data is pure. So it reflects the veracity of the big data, reflect the concept quality of the data. High veracity data means big data has many records that are valuable. That's the concept of veracity of the big data. If we use it in the medical experiments, if we are using that data, so it is expected veracity of the big data should be high because that data should be treated, and based on that data, doctors will take the decision. So it's very sensitive issue in that field. It is expected with high veracity of the big data. And suppose you are having automated decision making system. In that system, if there is no human is involved, so again it is expected veracity of the big data should be high. If you are having pure data, correct data, so it's obvious we'll find the correct decision. So in this field, veracity of the big data is required, and it is expected high veracity of the data will give the good result. Next one is the value of the big data. So this attribute shows what is the outcome of the big data. If you are not finding any outcome, so it's good for nothing. What is the business value of the big data? It is reflected by the value of the big data, and it's another important attribute of the big data and known as value of the big data. For example, discovering a consumer preference of any product is treated as value of the big data, and it's most important attributes of the big data and explained like this way. Finally, we can see value of the big data is nothing but what is the outcome of the big data. If we are finding the outcome of the big data, if we are finding the business value of the big data, so it's very good, otherwise it's good for nothing. So it is reflected like that. And these are all the main attributes of the big data, and characterized big data can be characterized with the help of these attributes or parameters. Now, if you are discussing about any concept, so we should be aware what is the use of each concept, why we are discussing these concepts. So first use of the big data is predictive analytics. If you are having the huge data, if you are having the big data, if you are maintaining the historical facts, so based on the historical facts, we can do the predictive analytics. We can do the predictive analysis, and based on the predictive analysis, we can forecast the thing. For example, we can do the weather forecast. So it would be an example of predictive analytics. Let's use the user behavior analytics. With the help of this user behavior analytics technique, we can do the analysis of individual. If you are having the history of any individual, so by applying some certain analytical tool, we can check it whether that person is suspicious or good person. If we are finding in the history this person is suspicious, so we can take the preventive measure and we can protect ourselves. So this is the use of big data, and with the help of big data, we would be able to implement the concept of user behavior analytics, and known as nothing but UBA. And again, if you talk about the application of big data, everywhere it is required. The application of big data is everywhere, like insurance sector, transportation, education, manufacturing, energy, healthcare, media, because if you want to take decisions, so you need huge data. And if you're not having huge data, so you cannot do the analysis and you cannot find the proper information. So that's the utility of the big data, and it is required everywhere and it's used in every field. So now I'm coming about the big data. I'm just giving the summary of the big data because it would be explained by other experts. So big data analytics, we have discussed the concept of big data, and one term is used as a suffix analytics. So if we apply any analytical tool on big data, so we'll find the appropriate information, and with the help of that information, we can find the appropriate knowledge, and with the help of that knowledge, we can take the proper decision. And if we are having the proper decision, so we can run our industry in very efficient manner, and even we can run our life in very efficient manner. That's the power of big data and analytics, and that's the use of big data analytics. And it's very useful to take the business in the business, and we can take the business decision with the help of big data analytics. And not only this, if you're having the big data analytics, so even you can launch new products and services by having appropriate information and by doing the proper analysis of that. And even by making the proper strategy by using big data analytics, we can reduce the cost of the product. And again, not only this, with the help of big data analytics, we can take the faster and better decision. So these are the important things related to big data analytics, and you can say utility of big data analytics. So we know that data scientist is on the peak, and the requirement of the data analyst is huge, but the supply is less. Average salary of data scientist in India is 14 lakhs per annum. And we know that it is a highly employable job sector, and it is predicted, as per one report, to create 11.5 million jobs by 2026. So you can understand the power of big data and power of big data analytics. So thank you. And when next part of the big data would be covered by Mr. Lalit Yagnik. So over to Ainsa madam, please.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lalit, sir, are you ready? Okay. Now I welcome our expert speaker, Mr. Lalit Yagnik, ex-IBM Technology Director, Solutions, Architect and Consultant. Mr. Lalit Yagnik is MTech Computer Science, BITS Pilani, India, and has completed Masters in Business IT, RMIT, Australia. He has also completed Executive Leadership Program from Cornell, USA. Mr. Lalit is currently associated with OZ Asia Solutions Private Limited as Director, Technologist, Solution Architect and Mentor. Mr. Lalit was former Technologist and Technology Director at IBM for various centers of Australia, Singapore, India, USA, and also a member of IBM Academy of Technology's leadership team. Now, I welcome Mr. Lalit Yagnik to share his rich experience with all the participants. Over to you, sir.
Well, once again, greetings to all of you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly audible.
And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So,
Hi, Lalit. Sorry to intervene. If you can allow me to take over because the experts are available till 3:15 only, and we are running late by 40 minutes. Then, if it is okay, then let us present and showcase case studies to the students.
Okay.
Post that, if you can take over and explain students about the scope in various technologies.
yeah, perfectly fine. So go ahead, do the show and tell first, and then I'll talk about it. So great. Now, what do I need to do to hand over the thing? Should I stop sharing the content? I'm kind of using this first time on my Windows machine. Okay.
Good morning. Good afternoon, sorry. Can I invite Anuka ma'am? Or Chef Shefali, are you going to present the presentation?
So good
Yes,
afternoon, everybody. Shefali is a part of career education team. She manages student engagements, and we are going to actually run through a very interesting concept today, where Shefali and her team is going to take the audience through a live illustrative walkthrough of how the managers of businesses today and of future are utilizing technology to make business informed decisions, aided decision making. Shefali has been quite instrumental in managing interactions with various academic institutions across the country and has been very actively working with both faculty members as well as students. She and her team of experts are going to today take through the session. Thank you.
Welcome, Shefali. And before you start the presentation, let me just briefly introduce Ms. Anuka to the participants. So Ms. Anuka is, in her current role at IBM, is responsible for academic partnership on Next Generation Global Technical Skill Program. In collaboration with universities, she works with academic policymaker to modernize education system to emphasize in-demand skills by providing students with a career-oriented training programs on emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, business analytics, big data, cloud computing, blockchain, which will help students to prepare for their new arena jobs. The effort is to enable more students to have an opportunity from which they can benefit from the technology-driven economic growth. Ms. Anuka has an experience of over 20 years in business strategy consulting and in the capacity and capability building engagements across various technology areas. She has been instrumental in the launch and successful implementation of new technology programs at various universities, including IIT Dhanbad, IIIT Delhi, NIFT, Chandigarh University, SRM University, Modi University, IIM Udaipur, IIM Raipur, to name a few. She is also an active representative on various academia boards and supporting institutions in skill engagements and evolving with newer engagement models. Now I request Ms. Anuka and her team, Shefali Datta, to please share your knowledge with the participants. Over to you, ma'am.
Shefali, I would request you to take the participants through the session.
thank you, Preeti. Hello, everyone. As you all are aware, that today we are going to discuss something in respect to data, with whether it is a big data, because big data is just a terminology which talks about the data is so big, which may be in different forms, segments, etc. And you have already gone through with some 5 V's of big data. That why this data has become so big and being called to be a big data. But today in the session, before I introduce you with subject matter experts and the hidden case studies which we have for you to demonstrate, I would like to take you to what data is all about, and in fact how this data is becoming so big and the future prediction, because since we all are here to understand data analytics, etc., so all are in confusion related to especially that since we all have been hearing about jobs like data scientists, big data engineers, some have started hearing about artificial intelligence, then similar like Internet of Things, etc. So there are a lot many confusion runs in mind that which technology is better, which is not, and what if I learn that technology and the next year I hear a newer technology. So by giving you an instance and example of why we have been talking about it, and to be sure on the kind of career which you are going to choose, that you yourself to be convinced on that whether this career will be a right path for me. So I would take you to a little outlook on what this technology is and where industries are actually moving, so that the technology you pick, you will be enough sure that you are on the right path. and you will be also able to answer all those confusions which are running in your mind. And maybe thanks to some of the articles which we go through, which sometimes help in leading us to build career opportunities and scope, and some are misleading as well. So the whole purpose of taking you through with that sense and the actual picture of where are we today and where we'll be maybe in 2024 or 5 years from now. So that you yourself get convinced about what you are going to opt, whether it is good for you or not, and what all things you are necessarily required to do in order to ensure that you have picked the right path, and in order to ensure that you would be the last one to leave the organization. That keeping this pandemic situation in fact in view right now, you may be knowing that many have lost jobs, so you will be the last one to leave the job. So what kind of positions you are capable to acquire, and what are the expectations of organization from you would help you to craft your career well. So right now we all have been talking about that data has become so big, data is oil, whereas I say that if the data is oil, even there are quotes where it says that information is a combustion engine. So we are in an era where we are talking about data, but we are also talking about information, which is eventually a combustion engine, which is even leading to this rapid change happen in respect to technology, in respect to advancement. So the vital role which plays here is basically a gadget. And we can say the influential is mobile usage, which is increasing 6% year on year. Again, setting aside this COVID situation, because you may be knowing the usage of mobile and internet has increased vastly during this pandemic situation. But keeping in view the usual situation in place, so this stat has come keeping in view that everything is fine. We all are meeting each other physically. We all are interacting with each other through labs, classroom sessions, etc. So if you see, and you may be evident yourself of that, lifestyle of people is declining big time. Outdoor games are declining, personalized time, photography, sports, outdoor, everything is declining. In fact, we can now virtually feel our friends with the help of some of the applications which we use, and PUBG is one of those which is popular these days. So, but what is taking to inclination? Why this data is becoming so big? That's very important for us to understand. So that is thanks to some of the platforms like news and magazine. We do not rely too much on the news which we see over television. Even in fact, we have more trust on the news which we see over the application which are installed in our gadgets. Similarly, utility and productivity applications are taking a lead. Then business and finances. Gone those days when we used to go for investing somewhere in the banks, etc. Many of you would not have even been visiting the banks because you have everything over your device available. Similarly, music, media, entertainment is also inclining, and the shopping. I mean, I remember those days when we were very resistant whenever we were hearing about there is a site like e-commerce where you can purchase anything you would wish to. That was itself a mall for you where you can make a different purchase. You need not to even walk out. So, but now I have seen people seamlessly buying gadgets. I mean, I'm not among those, but still I have a reservation. But you are among those who buy gadgets, you cancel, you sometimes are disappointed with the gadgets, but I mean, we are unstoppable. If we are not liking one of the portals, we will just jump to another. So what does customer want these days? Customer want a satisfaction, and organization, by provisioning multi-layer of applications platforms to you, they are giving that satisfaction. So by that, we are not just their customer for a day, we are their customer for longevity. Even many of the offers which you get over phone, and you think, I was just wishing for such offer to come, and then we suddenly feel, I mean, how did they come to know? And thankfully we have got a coupon because we were just thinking about it. So these are some of your digital footprints which are letting them know. I mean, the softwares, the technologies are becoming so faster. Before you would wish for something to happen, by your social footprints, by analyzing and predicting your previous posts, etc., they are able to understand what are you wishing for. In fact, if you are placing, say, on Zomato order most of the time during lunch, then you will get, in case if I have left placing order, I thought to have a home food, etc., during that particular period of time, basis on my previous footprints of placing order, say let's say 2 to 3 p.m., I will get a coupon because they want me back. You may get a coupon saying that we are missing you and things like that. So what they have got a footprint that this person has a pattern of placing order during lunch period more, and now the person is not placing order. So basis on that footprints, they are able to get me back, and by throwing some coupons, by giving me some perks, they are getting me back. But how are they analyzing what does Shefali want and what does maybe Lalit want, what does Anchal want and Anuka want and all that? I mean, there are so many people, they have different choices. How are they actually getting that? So right now, whatever the discussions we are taking you to, it is nothing new. First of all, you have to understand, earlier we have been talking about data mining. Now terminology has changed because the data has increased. The technology has increased, the platforms are various, the terminology has changed, software has changed, but all in all, the process is similar. But if you don't know how to operate that software, similar as if your smartphone does not have the updated operating system, it does not have the updated application, the application will stop working. The same as that, the scenario is. So there is no technology which is new in nature. The technologies are all in all same. This is the users which have inclined, the user interest, user taste has changed a bit. So that's why terminology has changed. And those who are up with that software, those who know how to operate these softwares, those who know how to take a smart work, not to just to have a smart gadget, not just to have a smart watch, smart mirror, etc. I mean, not to be just a consumer of the technology, rather knowing how to use that technology. If you have that skills within yourself, you will be in the organization and your stay will be long in longer run. So this is just a technology connect, and we in a amplest time we get confused. I mean, technology, that means this is a cup of tea for an engineer. This is not something I am to work on. So this is a myth, first of all, for you. The companies, the way they have made the software, it has reduced the load of the line of code which we used to write years back. Now, since the softwares are so friendly, it is same as you learn first time operating a smartphone or maybe switching from Android operating system to iOS. So the same way now when we are using software, now companies would seek for people who know how to operate the software. For them, it does not matter it to be it to have a qualification of engineering. Those companies which are adopting automation. So similarly, whenever you strive and anybody I come across, meet, if I ask what you want to be down the line after 3 years, 5 years, some have a terminology saying, I want to be a successful team member, I want to be a successful manager, I want to be a leader, and so forth. So if you want to be equipped with that knowledge, that means you need to necessarily equip with the kind of software, the culture being adopted by the organization. So the softwares are so friendly in nature these days that by drag and drop, by just getting to know about the software, you're able to draw insights from the data. You are able to create an application. I'm not saying that you would need not to necessarily know coding, but the softwares are able to help you 70 or 80% to work on it, and at back end the software will write a code for you. So in the application creation where engineers used to invest 1 month, 3 months, 5 months, and so forth, has reduced to 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. That's why the changes are happening in technology. In fact, multinational companies like IBM realize that if we are to spend our efforts in creating an application, and almost all clients want the similar thing, what happens for a developer? Let's say I'm a developer and I hold experience of 5 6 years. So what do we assume? Maybe I have made applications which are 20 or 40. So, and if I'm to now submit a project which is my 41st project to a client, what would I do, do you think? In case if my client requirement matches with any of my previous project or the work I have done, what would I do? I will use the same template, will make some changes here and there, will customize it and submit to the client. I may ask for the time from the client, because I may, that will be my lookout. When do I want to submit the project? But I'm not going to create something new in respect to a layout. Then that is how and where companies realize that if we are to invest our time in recoding, remaking, or so, why don't we create a software which does most of our time, and basis on the services which we need from that software, we select all those services, and in a day or two or maybe 5 or 10 days, our application or our project is ready to deliver. So they started adopting that smart culture, which was being adopted by an individual earlier. Individual holding 8 to 10 years of experience, or maybe over 5 years of experience. The same way companies have started making softwares for you to help, and basis on what your organization require, or basis on the kind of information you want to draft or you want to draw from it, you can pick on the services. And this is where the cloud started coming into play. We all are using the applications which are cloud based, and cloud is one of the technology which is leading data to become so big. So it is not the mobile application or so, because almost all the applications which are high end we use in day-to-day life are cloud based application, and that is leading for this data to be so big, because by cloud we mean storage, and whenever we are talking about storage, that means application layer. And if our data will be stored, then we would require people to analyze that. So the same way, like our ancestors keep on saying, if we analyze and spend 10 minutes a day to analyze what we did yesterday to plan our day better or to plan our future better, the same way companies have started realizing that we are so busy in bringing in new client, we are so busy in capping a record of who we lost, who we won, and what is our turnover right now. But we are forgetting that what if we analyze what was the reason to leave the client? What if we analyze what was the reason to attract newer client, and who is influential there? So if we invest time in working over there, then our turnover will increase and we will be making our products ready as per customer demand. So this is where analytics started playing role. As I told you, the terms are almost similar as being taught to us from decades, only with a layer of technology, with a layer of software, and to differentiate it from that this is something new, this is something different, this is not that. We have got different picture for it, we have got different name for it, and this is where analytic is being used as a terminology, which again has its different parameters. Some are being covered already: prescriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and similar to it, then we have business intelligence, descriptive in place, so forth. So these are some parameters of analytic where we differentiate the term, we differentiate the job role, and we differentiate the task as well. So in case if you want to be a manager, you might need to analyze your team also. You might need to analyze who is capable of doing what. So you will use it basis on what kind of data you have, based on what is your commitment, basis on your stakes in that organization. You will necessarily need to do that. So similar to it, whenever we have started talking about artificial intelligence, and there is always a call saying, whenever AI will be in place, it will eat most of the jobs. You will not have job because the machine will do a work for a person who was responsible to do various tasks, and for which we had to hire a manpower of 10, 20, 30, and so forth. The machine will do the work. That means that many numbers would lose the job. But on contrary to it, we have been talking about Industry 4.0, but there is Industry 5.0, which is in place, which states that human and machines are to work together, to meet the goal of the organization. So if there is synchronization between a human and machine, you are into the organization. That means you need not to worry about that AI will replace the job. You would not to worry about that there will be lesser jobs in the market. But yes, there will be white collar job, there will be skill based job, there won't be job for those who just hold degree. You would necessarily need to have that practical know-how of the concept of the tools and technology which are being used by industry, and a bit hands-on and exposure onto the kind of case studies or the previous case studies of various industry. Provided you have that knowledge, you will be in the organization, because to make AI to work, to enhance features in artificial intelligence, who do we actually need? We need resources, we need manpower for it. And as we said, that data is keep on increasing, it is unstoppable, because we are unstoppable. Irrespective of the fact, we are aware that our information is being stolen, irrespective of the fact that our information is being compromised, we are simply posting many things, we are in fact sharing our privacy publicly and so forth. So if we are unstoppable, the data is going to increase, it is going to lead more number of jobs in the areas of analytics. It is also going to lead more number of jobs in the area of AI, because by analyzing the data, companies are making automated system so that we would require less intervention of human being, and the system itself, those tasks which are possible to be done by a machine will be done by a machine. But it is again a AI analyst, AI engineer who would be required to enhance feature in that AI system, and who is further required to analyze how the machine is responding so that we can enhance the experience of the customer. Like if you talk about Google Map, etc., this is not end here of Google Map. It is keep on adding feature. So this is we who adds on feature. But if you know the software, you will be up in the organization. If you will not know these things, then you will be lagging behind. It will become very difficult for you to get the job. So be it's a manager, be it's a management student or an engineer, everybody is required to have a handful knowledge of these technology, not just a knowledge to use this technology. If you want to be a smart HR, you want to be a smart marketing person, you want to be a smart finance analyst or so, or you want to lead financials of the organization, you need to necessarily know all these aspects so that you can better predict and you can help the organization to grow multifold. I will skip the rest of the technology for the day. So we have been talking about Industry 4.0, which was a combination of cyber physical devices, which was a combination of AI, Internet of Things, blockchain, analytic, and all in all digital transformation. So whatever the technologies tracks were responsible for it, we have been talking it. It is the quest of the market for students or for people who are looking for job or maybe perks in career are required to have a knowledge of any of these technology and rather deep dive into any of these technology. But since I told you 5.0 is already in place, which talks about super smart society of 21st century, wherein machines and human are to work together. So what does human employers require in future to do what robot cannot? So as I told you already, and if you will just focus on practicing handwriting and learning multiplications, tables, it won't help you to get the future job. So whatever the skill gap India is facing, especially, is a result of rapid change happening in technology. To keep a pace with the rapid change, you need to keep yourself upgraded, as I told you earlier. So this I have shared already with you. Information is the oil of 21st century, and analytics works as a combustion engine there. So if we talk about global data which is being generated, again setting aside pandemic situation, then we generate a mind-boggling data which is 2.5 quilton on daily basis. I mean, it's a huge data which we generate on daily basis, which is eventually a potential gold mine for company. Company look for people who know how to analyze this data with the help of the software layer. So if we talk about by 2025, where will be, there will be over 80 billion devices, which will be connected devices. There will be over 21 billion IoT devices, and nearly 30% of data which will be generated by 2025, 5 years from now, would be real time, which has come just a blink of eye. So that much data is going to be generated. Some of the evident applications to it are Twitter, you all may be aware of. 500 million tweets are being created per day, which was 200 million 8 years back. So this is the inclination. Then if we talk about Facebook, it generates 4 petabyte of new data daily from 1.5 billion daily active users, which are ideal for active advertiser. The kind of advertisements you see, that also changes basis on your taste. It is not the same advertisement. If I log into my Facebook account, I will find a different advertisement. You will log into your Facebook account, you will find a different advertisement. So this is where things work. And I'll give you all a lighter note, a very, healthy example. Like, for example, income tax department of India is also becoming smarter. So what happens, let's say I have submitted that my salary is below 3 lakhs to get rid myself from paying tax, etc. But on social media, if I'm posting enjoying holiday in Switzerland with family, or enjoying holiday myself, maybe in Switzerland for 10 days or something. So what are they getting? Like, let's say I've submitted that my salary is below 3 lakhs per annum, but on the contrary, I am spending my holidays in Switzerland for 10 days, which almost call equivalent as my salary for a year. So that means I'm lying somewhere. So this is where, government, everybody is becoming smarter to analyze and to keep things so much up and transparent. in the system. A similar example to it is Ayogya Setu app. How does it actually work? So it is not the business who would look for this data. It can be utilized anywhere. Ayogya Setu app, what it actually doing? It is notifying us the nearby cases happening, and which has become ready, just after COVID situation. So it is telling, so which gives us alert of, where are more cases, so we can be precaution of where are lesser cases. It also takes a footprints of our geographic location, so that if we are being impacted, it gets to know, where all we visited, so that it can alert the people about COVID or can get that test done. So this is also where we are using this analytics layer. So my submission here is, you choose any field you wish to go. If you want to be in a layer, or you want to attain a position which states or talks about seniority, which makes you earn handsome remuneration, you would need to necessarily know and add it as a part of your learning. Wherever you go, I mean, whichever sector you choose for your growth, you would need to necessarily know that. And thanks to companies which have made automated softwares already in play, which have enterprise layer of software, and if you know that infinite number of data you will add in, the kind of information you would look in data, you will get in fraction. I mean, just like a blink of eye. So as much time your internet or that system would take just to upload the data, only whenever you will ask a system the information you would need, you will get pie charts, you will get graphs. So you need not to busy yourself in creating such systems. Companies are already there in market which has created the system, and with the help of this PGDBM program, you get a layer of that as well, which will be covered by Lalit. So what companies are drawing from this volume, velocity, variety, and veracity? Veracity is the major challenge in this 5 V's of big data, because many a time we post blog, we send incomplete information over a blog or over internet. But if our data, our collection of data has one of the segment which and the portal which does not have consistency of the data, then what will happen? My machine, if we talk about machine learning concept, my machine will be trained wrongly, because the information which is being drawn from a machine has come from wrong sources or has ambiguity in the information. So veracity becomes a major challenge. So companies use various keywords, various filters to ensure that their data, which they are fetching to draw information, which they are fetching to create application, which they are fetching to make the machine learn from the data, should be accurate enough. And after drawing these all 4 V, companies draw 5th V, which is value: profit, medical and social benefits, and personal satisfaction. If the client will be personally satisfied, will have medical and social benefits, it will automatically lead companies to make tons of money. So on this note, I would just like to share with you what we have for today for you. So first, I would like to introduce you with Raman Puneet Singh. He's a cybersecurity expert and he's a business analyst. He has attained various certification on the platform of security. And again, he himself, in fact, upgraded his knowledge and started working towards analytics. So it's been over 4.5 years he has been working in analytics. He has over 11 years of experience in the area of security. He would be taking you a bit on, since I have shared a little bit with you about role of analytics, 5 V's. He'll be taking you with a glimpse of analytics, etc., and will also showcase online that how you can analyze the data without writing a single line of code. And he will share with you the data set which he holds, and will take you to IBM platform, which is IBM Software Cognos, and you can enroll yourself for it, and later post session you can yourself try on the data. Even he can share his data with you, and you can try yourself all the features of the softwares to analyze and get instantly information about, since for today we have chosen topic which is COVID-19 data set. So he will tell you that with the help of software, how we can get to know confirmed cases, cured, and that death analysis case based on your age, because you get government saying that 30 people like 30 of age are lesser to prone with situation, but over 60 are more to prone with COVID situation, and the death ratio is also increasing. So he will take you to how they get to know about that with the help of software layer, and then he will address some question and answer. Post that, we have with us Ishan. He is IoT developer, and he is also artificial intelligence analyst. He will be taking you to AI, current application which we are using in AI. But that is, again, as I told you, that is not a hard stop. Companies are still on improvising. That is just a start. He would be introducing you with IBM Watson platform, and he would tell you that how bots are being created, chatbots, again, without writing a code, because softwares are enough available for you to create a bot yourself. And it will tell you that how, again, since he has chosen for today's session healthcare bot creation as a topic, he would be telling you about location-based cases happening in different segments and predefined covert cases, etc., with the help of bot and how it can be addressed. And then again, he'll take care of your question and based answers based query. So you get to know the bots which we see whenever we open any portal, that can be created without writing a code. So if you are planning to be a HR head, you can create yourself a bot which will address to most of the queries of candidates. So you need not to address those queries over phone, that the bot will itself answer. Once you will put a predefined question, etc., the bots will start answering. I would cover that deck before Ishan starts. I would like Raman, Puneet to give you enlightenment about analytics with a real-time case study on COVID in this pandemic situation, so that you are easily able to link about the information which is being shared by me with the kind of data sets you will hold. You can, similar to it, generate information about how to increase business value, or if you want any insights to be drawn from the data sets which can make you make uniform decision for future. So you can do that with the help of software layer. Over to you, Raman, Puneet. Thank you.
Thank you, Shefali. So good afternoon all. Let me first share my screen. I hope my voice is clearly audible to all of you.
You are audible to me, audible and clear.
Okay, thank you. Fine. So my screen is also visible, right? Okay. So here we are going to discuss the software which is IBM Cognos Analytics. Since analytics plays a lot of important role in today's organization. So I'm just going to give you the link for the dataset. You can use this particular link to download the same dataset on which I am working on. Right. Okay. So the software which we are going to use today is IBM Cognos Analytics. So before getting into the Cognos Analytics, you can see there is a picture onto the screen which actually have a number of, let's say, terms. So let's one by one firstly understand this, that what is business intelligence, how analytics plays an important role, from where the data comes in, how data changes to the useful information. So very first thing which we need to understand is, when we talk about business intelligence is nothing but is simply a set of process, architectures and softwares. Like all these three are being combined so that we can convert the raw data. You can relate the things onto the screen so that we can convert the raw data into some meaningful information. Now, why the organization needs to do the analysis part, or why the organization needs to convert that raw data? Because they want to go for some decisions, because they want to have some meaningful decisions. So let's say it's a suite of softwares and services which are actually transforming the data into knowledge. So business intelligence has a direct impact on the organization, strategical, tactical, and operational business decisions. Let's take an example. We do have a grocery store. Let's take an example of a Reliance grocery store. So somewhat the sales of a particular product at a particular grocery store suddenly goes down. So the data is there. The analysis will be done that why the sales of that particular product is going down. After going with the analysis part, they'll come up with the decision. Okay, we can go for this particular solution to overcome this. So there is a large amount of raw data which is being extracted, transformed, and then loaded into a useful information. It converts into a useful information. All these things, it always supports the fact-based data. Now, when I say fact-based, you are not into the organization to work on your assumptions and gut feelings. I can't say I didn't like this particular scenario, so let's do it like this. No, we need to present some facts. We need to present some historical data. We need to present some figures. We need to put some numbers to support our document. Now, after this, then only on the basis of this analysis is being done, we create reports, dashboards, summaries, charts, pie chart. So here come the graphical analysis comes into picture. Whenever I'm going anyone into the organization, I guess I'm getting some annotation request. Okay. So whenever whenever you're getting to present something into an organization, we tend to rely on graphical analysis, because let's suppose I want to give a presentation and I do have a 30 slides just of theory, and I don't have any graphs, I don't have any pictures into it. So that will be a kind of boring. Even the person won't able to understand that what kind of analysis is that. So we took help of graphical analysis, we took help of pie charts, we took help of bar charts, we took help of tree maps, different charts are available. We are going to take help of that, and we are going to perform that graphical analysis, and on the basis of which we are going to submit the organization has to going to take the decisions. Now that decisions are very important for profit. That decisions are very important for the company growth. We are actually supporting the business growth. We are actually supporting the business making support. That you either you have to go this way or either you have to go that way. Let's take an example on a broader length. Health department, your crime department, the security, the science, the business, each and everyone is doing analytics. Now, how come health department is doing analytics? Let's suppose we can take the situation of pandemic of this COVID-19 only. A kind of disease spread out, the percentage of patients, the health problems, proper health. Then when they are going to collect all this type of data, how many patients are there, from which age factors it is being affecting, each and everything taken into consideration, they are putting up the analysis over there, and based on that analysis they are going to send the teams, so that you can go there and you can just do them. Same way, if we talk about the crime department, analysis can be done like on how many number of prisoners can there, crimes committed, weapons count, the case registered, whether it is dealing to drug trafficking or arms and ammunition. So on the basis of that only, the special team or special task force will be appointed. So this thing just not only giving the profit, we are also fixing the accountability. Like we are fixing the person that you are responsible for this particular task. It is used for fixing the accountability as well. So business intelligence, I hope you have understand that it's simply a set of suits, softwares and technologies which are combined together to form a good decision for a business growth. So it is going to improve the strategies, future predictions, customer behavior. Now, how customer behavior is being detected? So when we are talk about analysis part, whatever you are purchasing from these grocery stores or big showrooms, each and every analysis is being done. Let's suppose even they plays with the psychological impact of that particular customer. How? Let's suppose you went to the grocery store and you saw that you went to the section of bread and butter. Let's say I want to purchase a bread. So you can see that along with the bread, there can be butter, there will be jam, there will be pickle. So all the things which can be used with the bread, they will going to put it over there. Now that is also done on the basis of analysis. Second, when we talk about, let's say, a growth of a particular product goes down, how it is going to take up the decision? Let's say offers. When you take this, we have a combo offers, we have the sales. So you say, grab the deal, get get this particular item which is of 1,000 rupees, get it into 700. So actually, company wants you to spend that 700 rupees rather than saving 300. Next, they used to go for the combo offers. I'll take a very real-time example for that combo offer, which you can relate with yourself. You went to these grocery stores and you find that combo snack, that different kinds of namkeen snacks were present. So you can easily figure it out that out of those combo pack, only 3 type of snacks is there which is used onto the daily basis, but 2 kind of a snacks which is hardly being purchased by any person. So, but since it's a combo pack and we have to purchase it because we are saying, let's say 30 rupees off or let's say 50 bucks off on that particular item. So this is how analysis is being done. This is how things are being implemented. So business, because only thing which impacts business is the growth and the profit. And analysis plays very important and major role for growth and profit because analysis and plays very important role for taking up the decisions. In fact, I should say the right decisions. So this thing has already been discussed. I'll just give a brief on it that these are 5 V's: the volume, the velocity, the variety, the veracity, and value. So even onto the data, like big corporations, we talk about Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you will be shocked to know that analysis is being done on such a minute basis also. Let's say on the deep basis. How I can just give you an example. Let's suppose you scroll your Instagram or you scroll your Facebook app. So the moment you give a pause to a particular post, that particular thing will be analyzed that this guy has put that much time on that particular post. Even that is being also analyzed. That means you have the impact of that post on your mind. So in future, you will be getting posts related to that particular scenario, related to that particular post only. Even what is the speed of the scrolling? How much time did you spend on single post? How much time you spend on, let's say, comments? The type of post you like, the type of searches you do. So each and everything. I'll give you a real-time example so that you can relate. I used to have a lot of real-time example I used to give into my sessions. So I want to purchase a Bluetooth speaker on Amazon. I search a Bluetooth speaker on Amazon. Suddenly you will find that on your Facebook page or your Instagram ID, or Facebook ID, you will start getting the advertisements of Amazon go for a Bluetooth speaker, the different kinds of Bluetooth speaker. How Facebook knows that I went to Amazon to buy a Bluetooth speaker? This is all analysis. This is all hidden features hidden analytics which is being done. So why we need business intelligence? Why company needs business analyst? Because the BI has a lot of career opportunities. Be it can be a business intelligence analyst, business intelligence developer, master data services, project manager, intelligence manager, administrator. We are the ones who are actually controlling the growth. We are the ones who are actually analyzing each and every scenario into very minutely. We are the ones who are actually putting the company for a betterment of the growth. So whenever you are providing profit to the company, you are the ones who are getting the highest pay. 2 things. Once you're providing the profit of the company, once you're seeing that, okay, you can check that this thing should not be happen, we can have a backup for that. So why BI is there? Because we know that something has happened, what is happening, and why did it happen, and we do have the solution for that particular scenario. Let's say if I say the sales goes down, we know the sales goes down. We do have the data for that. We analyze on it, then we'll rectify it, then we'll like, okay, let's overcome by taking up so and so decision or by implementing so and so policies. Even into like very easy example, if we talk about under the data, when the data is being extracted, it is being cleaned. Analysis is being done onto the clean data. As Shefali has already conveyed that even if the machine is being trained onto the wrong data, it will not be that much fruitful. So data is being cleaned. Now, what do you understand by the cleaning of data? I'll give you a very basic example. Any faculty or any person share a sheet with you, and you have to fill up your, let's say, name, roll number, email IDs, and gender. And by any means, you hodgepodge the things. So in place of email, you put up a mobile number, or in place of a gender, you put something else. So in place of a name, you put email ID, or in case, let's say the gender column has a male has been mentioned like male for male and female for female, or some of you have put M for male representing male or F for representing female. But that means that particular sheet, that data is not being cleaned. The data set, that particular data will be cleaned first of all, then it will be forwarded to the higher authorities. So cleaning is very important. Data extraction and then transformation. And after that, the loading part happens. Again, we do have a very interesting term into this, that is data mining architecture. Now, after that, we'll go with the hands-on of this. Before that, I'll just explain you that what do you understand by data mining architecture. First of all, you need to understand that what do you mean by the term data mining. Data mining simply means that I can have the exact information which I want. Okay, I want to have the exact information. I can extract the exact type of information which I want. So that is what you call data mining. Let's say, even if we talk about the Google part, I want only the PPTs or the PDF from the Google only. I can have that particular info. Now, when we talk about data mining architecture, you can see this a number of slides like user interface, pattern evaluation, data mining engine, and all that stuff. Let's make it easier. You went to Amazon.com, you usually go for e-commerce website, everyone, each of us. So we can see the user interface, that is the search box for the Amazon.in. You put up a query over there, let's say something like mobile phones above 20,000, or let's say mobile phones below 20,000. Now, pattern will be evaluated that we have got some query regarding mobile phones under 20,000. Just remember, you are not the only one who has put up that query that mobile phones under 20,000. Before you also, there are many people who have just put up the same query. So anything which is already being put up, any query which is already there, it exists into the knowledge base. So pattern evaluation will extract the results from the knowledge base, like mobile phones below 20,000, and you will get the result within blink of eyes, like the picture of a mobile phone, the specification, the price, each and everything. But what happened if you make some kind of a query which is very unique or very rare? It can be, let's say, mobile phones above 1 lakh. So in that case, if you're having that user interface mobile phones above 1 lakh, so pattern will be evaluated that mobile phones above 1 lakh. But definitely that particular query will not be present into the knowledge base. So for that, it goes to the data mining engine, that do you have something related to mobile phones above 1 lakh? It goes to the database warehouse server. If anything present on the server will reply back and will get the result. But what is going to happen even if the server doesn't have this results? Server will then move on to the different other repositories. It can be another database, it can be another data warehouse server, it can be World Wide Web, it can be other repositories. So if the server doesn't have the result, it move on to the another repositories, and the data from these repositories will be fetched. And at this particular section, that is data cleansing, selection, and integration, this is the line where the part of transformation, extraction, and loading is being done. Means different servers and repositories, we are getting the raw data, and raw data is being extracted, transformed, and loaded to the data warehouse server. Then it is being converted into a useful information. So that is how you will get the exact result, because it totally depends on the growth of a company. Let's suppose I went to Amazon and I search a mobile phone and I'm getting the result of a laptop, or I search for a mobile phone and getting the picture of a laptop and specification of a mobile phone, or picture of a mobile phone and specification of a laptop. So in that case, definitely I will not be again going for a shopping with Amazon.in, right? So that is why it's very important to have the clean data and to analyze the data onto a larger scale. Now let's have a hands-on to this. We have a lot of more talking to it. Now for this, the tool which is we are going to use is IBM Cognos Analytics. We are going to put up the data set into it, and we are going to analyze that particular data set, that how it's working. So this is the window for the IBM Cognos Analytics. So if you want to make an account over it, you can simply search for IBM Cognos Analytics and you can sign in with your IDs. So after doing it, you will have this welcome screen. Let me click on new. Let me click on exploration. So you don't need any kind of a coding stuff. You don't need anything else, because you should always have, that how the tools has to be used. everything will be done by the tool itself, but you should know what to put, where to put. Just a drag and drop, but at least you should know that where to drag and what to drop. Okay, so I already have this particular data set with me. First of all, I'll let you know that how we can convert this into a data set. So for that, you need to upload the files. I have shared the link with all of you. You need to download this, and after that, you need to make an account onto the IBM Cognos Analytics, and then you need to upload the files. Let's say COVID-19 dataset. So I have different files of COVID-19 dataset, that is age group details.csv, COVID-19.csv, hospital beds, ICMR testing, population India, and state-wise testing details. Let me open this. It will start uploading the files to the software environment. Okay, so once it's uploaded, I have to convert these CSV files into a data set. For that particular scenario, I'll simply click on new and I click on data module. So I'll get different files over here. Different CSV files are there. So let me convert this. Let me select these CSV files. I'll click here. Right. I'll just press the control key from the keyboard and select all the files which is into the data set. And I'll click simply on OK. The software will automatically convert all these CSV files into a data module. So now my data module is being generated and it is ready for use. So I have to save this data module. I'll click on save. Let me save it on my content. I'll give it a name, new COVID-19. Click on save. Now I'm going to use this particular data module for my experiment. So this data set will be used for the analysis part. I'll click on new, plus sign, and I'll go for exploration. Now you can see there are different terms. Upload files we have seen, data modules we have seen, explorations where we can create summaries, charts, dashboards. We can also create the stories. We can also create the reports. We can create the active reports that can be changed onto runtime. So there's a lot of things which we can explore. So let's go to the exploration part. So I have to choose the data set right now on which I have to work on. I'll move on to my content. Now there you can see I have new COVID-19. So I'll just simply click on this and I click on add. Now what is going to happen is software will itself going to tell me like this is the details, these are the things, these things can be linked up. I'll just see. Wait. Okay. So I am already filtered out these things. Software has already filtered out this thing. Now let's suppose if I'm going to click on any of the one query item, let's say I have click on confirmed. So it will automatically generate the relationship confirmed, cured, confirmed deaths, confirmed Indian national, foreign national, state-wise confirmed categories. Okay, so on the side window, I can see that the graphs are already being generated. Now let's suppose I simply click on confirmed and I click on deaths. It will going to tell me the relationship between the confirmed deaths. Automatically, it will generate 618,000 deaths. So this data set is, I guess, till April or May. So you can just, that is why it is showing that much of deaths. Then the graphs is automatically generated, confirmed Indian national deaths and all that stuff. So the moment I click on confirmed and cured, then again, the graphs and the numbers will be generated automatically. So let's suppose this is software, this is the something which is software is using it by default. But let's suppose I want to create my own dashboard, or I want to create my own card for this. So I'll just click on this new card. I'll click on single. So you can choose which type of visualization you want. Let's suppose I'll click on choose a type and I want a bar visualization. So my data set is being loaded over here, and this is my window. Let's suppose we want to go for, let's say, state-wise details. COVID-19, yes. So let's have, I'll just drag state and union territory over here, and I'll drag the number of cured over here. So you can see automatically the graph is being generated for me, that these are the states and union territories and this is the ratio. Even I'll get the details. Automatically the software is going to fetch up the details while giving the presentations. I need not to take care that I need to write it down some steps. What is this? I need to analyze my own graphs and all that stuff. It is being self-analyzed by the software. The sum of cured for all values in so and so, which is we have already seen into the previous picture, that is 11.1 million or something. Then the summed values for the cured range is so and so. The value for the cured is unusually high when the values of state and union territories are Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, and Gujarat. So you can check, this is for Maharashtra, this is for, let's say, Delhi, and this is for Tamil Nadu. So different things. This is the entire details you can already fetch up from the software. Even let's go to the properties part. If you want the figures to be numbers to be mentioned on this, I'll simply click on this and I'll get the numbers, that what are the numbers I'm getting. Even we can have the deaths also. Let's go to the detail part, sorry, field part, and I'm going to simply drag the deaths under the cured part. Now you can check, I do have the cured as well as the deaths as well. So let's just click on here. Let me show you on the largest. This is the graphical analysis which is being done for this particular task. So what you have done, you have just drag and drop the things, but you should know, you should have that analysis mind that these are the things to be analyzed. These are the things to be compared with so and so scenarios. It's not like we can put anything anywhere. Okay. So let's go back to another. So these are the confirmed by state and union territories. Then we have these deaths and cured by state union territories. Let's have the confirmed cases. Let's go for the confirmed cases. So for this again, I'll take a new card and I'll again go for the visualization, that which type of visualization I want. Let's go for another visualization. This time I'll go for a tree map. Now, let's say the hospital beds in India. So state and union territory, I'm going to drag it over here. And let me go for number of urban beds. Let's say number of rural hospitals in India. I'll drag here. So now you can see automatically I got the details of the total number of rural hospitals across India. We can have this, then different state wise, the map is being generated. Even if you want, you can put number of urban hospitals side by side and you can have a comparison onto it. Now, what if, let's suppose I don't know that which type of visualization I want to go for. Let's take another example of visualization and we can just understand this thing also. Let me take a visualization. Let's have a bar visualization. Okay, and I want to go for, let me go for age group and let me go for the total cases. Now I have this type of visualization, but even if I don't know that what kind of visualization should be there, I'll simply click over here and I'll get the recommended visualizations by the software itself. So software told me that you can go by bar, you can go for stacked bubble. Just give me a second, please. Right. You can go with the spiral visualization, you can go with the word cloud, you can go with the packed bubble visualization. Let me go for packed bubble. So now you can see automatically the visualization is changed. That means that total cases, the lightest says that 0 to 9 age group is being least affected. And if we talk about 20 to 29, most effective, and 30 to 39 years again, on to the second number. So again, we can fetch out the details for the, I guess for the pack, there is no detail because this is hardly being mentioned over there only. Okay, fine. So I guess this is the same we have under the paper presentation also. That is age group by colored and age group for the total cases. So we can have different kind of visualizations. We can have different kinds of scenarios which is being discussed. We just need to know what kind of analysis we need to done, what kind of scenarios we need to present, how to solve that particular problem, how to do analysis on that particular problem. I hope things are easy and I hope things are pretty much clear to all of you. So I'm open to questions if any one of you have any kind of a doubt regarding this. So I can, you can put it onto the chat window if anyone has any kind of a doubt. Yes, you can go for the chat, open onto the chat window, please. You can put down your queries onto the chat window.
The question raised by Navdeep Raman, can we export this data is the question.
Sorry, can we export this data? Yes, definitely. You can export this data and you can use it into the dashboards even. If, for example, if I'm going to, let me share the screen again. Okay, so you can see we can pin this data. Once you can pin this data will also available for your reports, stories, and dashboards. So once you create a dashboard, you can export that dashboard into the form of PDF or document or any other scenario. I hope things are clear. Yes. So there are different kinds of BI tools. So you can see IBM Cognos Analytics is one of the most popular tools. Then we have a Power BI, then we have a Tableau. So how you're getting the input data set? So input data sets will be providing by the company itself. Let's suppose if you're working for an industry, the company will give you the data set that on this, you need to do the analysis. So you can search more onto the Google so that you can find out more and more data sets. There are a number of websites which are actually providing these data sets and you can have a hands-on onto it.
Thank you, Raman. Without much a delay, we would like to now start with artificial intelligence and the session on chatbot, which will be delivered by Ishan. As I have already introduced you with Ishan, he will be taking you to AI current applications which are in use, which are AI based, and IBM Watson platform. He would also give you a demonstration of a healthcare bot, which you can create without writing a code, and similar how location based cases can be asked for predefined covert data he will be entering to. So over to you, Ishan. We would like you to give a demonstration of how bots are being created and how it is easy for a non-coder also to create a bot for their business or for the kind of job role they are involved in. Over to you, Ishan.
Hi,
Thank you all. Thank you,
Shefali.
Shefali.
Hi, thanks everyone. Hi everyone. Hope it is completely audible.
Yes, you are audible, Ishan.
Okay, thanks. So let me just share my screen with you, and then we'll be just proceeding, and we'll be understanding what is artificial intelligence, and I'll be just including some real life scenarios, and with that we'll be understanding how AI is changing this world and how we are getting connected more and more in this. So without wasting much time, let me move in this. Like now we can check if I say a term like we all are coming across that AI is changing the world now in the future. we are going to be in a world where AI will be everything. It will be taking jobs. We were listening to that terms also. But let us discuss how the things are getting changed in AI and what will be our agenda. And today also will be first understanding what is artificial intelligence. Then we'll be undergoing what is the use, and then we'll be coming to a Watson assistant. We'll be checking a chatbot where we will also come across without the use of programming how we can create a chatbot, and that is an application of artificial intelligence. How it come across with the text message to analyze the sentiments, like what the user want to say. We'll be checking that part also in this. So if I say what is artificial intelligence in a simple word, if I say it is a part where we try to mimic a human mind. We try to make a replica of human mind, but in a better way. It is more advanced. It can do more work. Earlier, if you see, your computers can only do a computation regarding your small numbers. We are using calculator to do a computation, or we are using phones, smartphones, and laptops to get some task done. But there is a limited computation we are having at that time. So now when we say we need to make a machine that can act like a human brain, that can mimic like a human brain, which means it can do much more than just running a program or just executing a video in your laptop or just playing a game. It is more than that. So how it is, first let me just let you know that what is human intelligence and what we want in machine also in this. So it is like we do planning. If we need to go from one source to another destination, we will check which will be the best way to reach the destination, shortest way, and it should not have a traffic. We do a planning for that. We do a lot of planning in our life also. So how we are doing planning? We are thinking, we are learning from the mistakes which earlier we do. A human is learning. He is continuously learning. You are also learning. From this today's session, you will also learn something. Not 100%, but still you will learn something. But we are continuously learning. Then problem solving. We solve a problem, we do manipulation, creativity, perception, and reasoning. We do all these things. This is the kind of human intelligence, how human beings are spending their daily life. In every time you are doing some planning, you are continuously learning in your daily status. But why the machine is not doing this? Earlier, we do have this question, why the machine is not doing this? But now, after the research, having a lot of work in artificial intelligence in this field, for making a machine to plan, to learn, to think, where machine now, it can see the world, it can think, it can learn automatically with its experience, what it has got. So if I mention something to you, like, let me just put up in slide mode only, that see, we are in our daily life, we use artificial intelligence as a facial recognition. Like we unlock our device with a phone camera. Earlier it was not possible, but now how it is possible with the smartphone. There is a facial recognition. There is a training of a machine with your image. While you click an image, your machine get trained, like this is you. The same way we use artificial intelligence in this. After another application where artificial intelligence merge with your Internet of Things and develop a product called Alexa. Google speakers are there. Alexa is also there. Google Home. Now Apple has also introduced a speaker. So what are these smart speakers? Earlier, these speakers were just used to play music. Before the Bluetooth also there, we use the speaker just to listen to music. If you know, you are aware about the speaker, you go to party, you hear the speaker. Then we introduce in a world where everyone should have their own speaker. But now these speakers are getting smart. They can play music. They can listen to you. If you say to play music, if you say to make a call, if you say to turn off the light, they will do this. How they are analyzing your natural language. Earlier machine used to work on binary. They used to work on 1 and 0, but now they are also understanding your natural language. Like I'm communicating with you, you can understand me, but machine don't understand us. like this, how we are communicating. Now these machines are able to understand our natural language also. It is not only one language, multiple language. If you will speak in Hindi, it will understand. If we are working on regional language, then also these speakers can easily understand, because these all devices are designed in such a way. So how these devices are getting designed, and how they are listening to us, and how they are doing all the computation, there is an artificial intelligence in this. We merge with a technology called IoT also. Then third thing we see in our daily life, we visit to Amazon or any of the e-commerce platform, or a YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. We get to know that if I click on one video, I'm watching a video, or if I buy a product, at that stage, when I'm proceeding a checkout, or if when I am done with the product, there comes this image at the bottom of your page on your laptop screen, that customer who viewed this project, they are also doing these type of things. Okay, or what can be the best product that you can also buy with this product? How they are giving the suggestions. It is not always that whenever you buy something, this thing will be used in your product, but how these suggestions are coming. If you watch something in YouTube, a new recommended video is ready related to the same topic in your field. How it is? A recommender system is working at the back end, which analyze what is your taste. Earlier, the things were designed as per the requirement of market, but now the things are designed as per the requirement of each user. Each device, every app we use, it leads like it is just designed for us. But how it is getting designed for us? We didn't say I want this. We didn't say I am searching for this particular app, but how it is getting designed, how it is getting smarter day by day. So fourth thing I will be introducing how we use in our daily life, filters. We click a photo, we apply a lot of filters in that, because we don't need a photo without any filter nowadays. You use Snapchat, where ears and tongue will be implemented live into your photo. How it is being done, how in the live video, how it is being done. This is all about your artificial intelligence. So if I say one thing to you, if I remove this thing, if I remove the term artificial intelligence now in this current world, so what do you feel? Can you see these all gadgets? Will you able to have this Google Assistant? Can you work with the face recognition? No, there is an artificial intelligence only in this one. And now we are habitual of this. We are connected with this. And slowly, we are connecting more and more on this. So this was an application how AI is being connected to us and how we are also connected. If I get more deeper in this, like how AI works, what are the field subsets of there which are present, there comes a machine learning where we train a machine. There comes a deep learning also. So in short, if I mention what will be the artificial intelligence, if you feel and if you want to understand in a layman language, it is just your complete human body, how it is working, how it is responding to the new things, how you work, how your brain think, and how it compute the data. The same way we want a machine. Same way we want our machine to respond within a fraction of a second. It predict, it think, and it do a lot of things with the help of these technology. I will not go more deep in this. It is just an overall how it works. Then I will be taking you in a way how we can work with AI without a coding also, because we know there was a computing era, we say. It was a tabulating era, then comes the programming era. Now it is a cognitive era. Where we don't need to code a lot. We don't need to write a code to make any program or to do any task. We can also do with just providing a data. Okay. So if I talk about machine learning, you see it comes reinforcement learning, neural network. You have heard about a self-driving car, how it works. There comes a role of reinforcement learning, where when you win, you get a point. Where you lose, you don't get a point. It is a reinforcement learning working over there. So if I say where we use artificial intelligence, these are some examples we use in chatbot nowadays. It is highly usable in chatbots. Then for self-driving car, doctors are using. We use prediction for the prediction of future, for stock market. Yes, someone has.
All the participants are requested to please put yourself on mute. Participants are requested to put yourself on mute, please.
It's Bhavi Singh. Bhavya Singh.
Bhavya Singh,
Bhavya Singh,
Mr. Bhavya Singh. Mr. Bhavya Singh. Okay, sir, you can continue.
Thanks, Bhavya. Thanks, ma'am. So I was like, we are also predicting our stocks and predicting futures also. And then comes your speech recognition, how we understand someone's speech and we recognize that is a particular person. We are into that world right now. So these are some examples we do have. Then what are the use cases actually where we use it is highly applicable in every field. If I talk about agriculture, healthcare, military, music, surveillance, education, aviation, everywhere AI is implemented nowadays because we want we want every machine to be more smarter day by day. So when we connect our AI with IoT, we are connecting this world with artificial intelligence where we collect the data from sensors also. And then we make our machine more smarter with the help of your artificial intelligence. So one of the applications that I'm going to discuss with you today is your chatbots. So why chatbots? What are actually chatbots? And why we are getting more connected with this chatbot and how we can also develop this chatbot. If I discuss a chatbot, to explain this chatbot, let me narrate a small story. And where you need to think like you are a business owner, you own a company, and there is a product for that. You feel like you need a team who will be addressing the queries of the users who will be using your product. So you set up an office and it needs to be run 24/7. So for that requirement, there is a requirement of 3 employees to be available for 24/7. One will be there for first 8 hours, then a shift of 8 hours. Then those employees need a break, they need a salary, we need an infrastructure for them. So which a large amount of cost we are spending just for to entertain user, to guide user what they need to do whenever they feel any difficulty and they require help for that particular product. So you are a business owner. Now you need to think, we need to hire an employee. That is a one part, that is a traditional what we used to do. But there's a lot of flaws. Now, one of the employee who was working as a customer care, he got into a fight in this while coming to the office. Now, the efficiency of doing a work will automatically reduce because his mind is in somewhere different. He will be thinking, why I get into that fight, I need to take revenge, or I will show him when I will get back from there. So automatically he will be not efficient to do the work. Okay, so if I will be the customer, I'll be user, I am calling to that particular person, I will be not satisfied with the reply of what he will be doing. He'll be answering. I ask about something, he's replying something different. He'll be saying, it's your mistake, just hang up the call. So what is my role and what will be the that mistake of that particular owner? I will not use that product again in my life. I will not recommend that product to someone else. So automatically the business will go down. If you are a business owner, you will not allow that particular person in your office. But there is a requirement you need to have. But now after that, we come into why not a machine will entertain a user. Why can't a machine should reply a user? Because machine will do their work in an effective way. Why can't a machine reply to a user in an effective way and a user is happy, business owner is happy, and everyone is happy? So that, as you know, as a human nature, when we work with it, when we talk to someone, we need attention. We feel happy when we are connected to someone of a business. Like let us assume you are connected to a business owner of a smartphone. You will be feeling more happy when he'll be addressing you. Okay, when you went to their showroom, he'll be addressing you in a well-mannered way. You will be feeling happy. You will also share the same information with a bunch of your friends. But please go to that shop. That is a very good person. He help you to select a very best phone. So you will be suggesting automatically. He's also getting a profit, and you also feel good. That is a chatbot only, where we develop a software application which will do a conversation in the format of a chat or with audio by using text to speech or speech to text. And it will act as a really human agent that it is solving our problem. That is a chatbot where machine is acting like a human being and it is doing a conversation with a human. Okay, so if I say what does chatbot require, how we can work with a chatbot, what is the backend of the chatbot? The very first thing we need to understand whenever we are working in chatbot, we need machine to understand natural language. Natural language means how I am speaking, what is my language, way of communication. Okay, machine needs to understand my way. Then only it can get ready, it can get trained to reply to a user. Then it's a secondary if we can use text or we can use speech. So which means either we can only work with a text or we can also introduce a speech. So if I mention something about your Google Assistant, that works on text and speech both. That is your personal assistant. That helps you. If you say to Google Assistant to play music in YouTube, it will play. It is an assistant. That is also an assistant. Have you ever thought how the Google Assistant is working in your phone or how Siri works? That is a chatbot. That is a personal assistant to you, which is working on natural language and text and speech both. So moving forward in this is the architecture, how it works. We work with the natural language processing. It analyzes your natural language and with a bunch of knowledge which is already stored in the database. From there, it analyzed and it hit a reply what we want. Okay, so it is like if I explain a little bit more easier to you for understanding how a chatbot is. So just think, you are a business owner, you hired a person, now you need to provide a training to that person, how you need to address. The same way we need to develop a chat. We need to do we need to provide a training, we need to provide a data to this machine so that machine can understand what need to be replied on different circumstances. So these are some of the list of best chatbot: Endurance, Casper, Judici. These are the different chatbots which are already live and they are working. So why we shifted to chatbot now? Why we are not on still human being in customer care? Because they are 24/7 available. They reduce the cost because once we need to invest, there is no cost for doing a lunch, tea break, infrastructure, AC. We don't need to put a cost on that. Automatically, the cost is reduced what we are spending. Then they're continuously learning and updating. So they are easy to operate and we can easily access these chatbots. Okay, so now the question comes, where we are using this chatbot. In every sector nowadays we are using these chatbots. If you see every website now, they have their personal chatbot which will reply on their particular queries which they have, their functionality. Earlier you have come across with a chatbot, you have come across with Natasha in Hike. That is also a chatbot which analyzes your natural language and reply to. After that, we move forward, we come across multiple areas where we are using chatbot. In bank sector, you order via Zomato or Swiggy, they do have a chatbot. Uber, Ola, they do have a chatbot. So these all sectors do have a chatbot that you are constantly using. If you order something from Flipkart, Amazon, they also do have a chatbot now. So that they don't want that a person should handle a query because they feel machine can handle a user query more effectively. So now I will just take you to a Watson assistant where I will just show you a small glimpse of how a chatbot is developed. So Bhavya Singh, you are on again on unmute. Bhavya Singh, by mistake, I think you kept your mic unmute. Bhavya Singh?
Preeti, you can mute Bhavya Singh.
I guess by mistake he kept his finger on that mic.
Yes. Just wait, Ishan. I'm
Yeah.
just clicking. Preeti, can you hear me?
As a host, you can also mute.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah, Preeti, just mute Bhavya. Bhavya Singh.
I guess he left or
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
please go ahead, Ishan. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. So now I will be introducing to you IBM Watson and its Watson Assistant. IBM Watson was introduced in 2011 and it has introduced a new era of computing. It has
Please mute
introduced
yourself.
a era of computing, that is a cognitive era where we don't need to do a programming. We might be have heard, might have heard about a programming like Python, C, Java, C++, but we used to write a program to get a task done by a machine. But nowadays we don't need to write a program. It is not necessary every time to write a program. We can also work with the data. This is a platform, this is a Watson Assistant. It's a platform where we can easily develop our assistant. We can easily develop our particular chatbot. Like you do have a business and you want your business to be addressed by a machine. There should be some information regarding your business and that need to be addressed by a chatbot. So you can easily develop this. You don't need a programming for this. You just need a data, and that data you already know. Like you know how if some customer will come to you, you know how to handle the queries, you know where you need to redirect, you know the answers. So which means here you just need to concern about your data, what the data will be and how you need to reply. This is as that simple. So if I mention that it is my healthcare chatbot, it is having some information regarding COVID cases and prevention and all. So what we do in this chatbot, we come across with three things. That three things are related to your intents, entities, and dialogue. These three things majorly we work in our chatbot, where intents are related to the input. As I mentioned you, if you want to think how you can develop a chatbot, you need to think like you are hiring a person and now you need to provide a training to that person. So in intent case, that act as an input. That input means you are going to train a user to this, or you think it like a user or a machine only. This machine is going to get trained with the examples like how user can approach. Okay, you need to provide the examples first, how a user can approach to you. The same way, we create intent that are represented as hash and all. So let me just zoom in a little bit and show some examples which are already present over here. So if it is like you can see here, let me go with the symptoms. It is COVID symptoms. Now we do have a lot of examples, near about 73 predefined examples, which I'm having right now in this. It is having how someone can come approach to me regarding COVID symptoms. It can have a question like, do I have coronavirus? Do I have COVID? Hi, what are the symptoms? Okay, how can one know if they have been infected? So there are a lot of things which are already mentioned over here. These are some similar examples regarding the symptoms of COVID. Like how a user can interact to this machine regarding the symptoms of COVID. So which means we need to mention a lot of example in this. So because you know that every human being do have their different perception. They can provide an input in different way. Okay, like if I do an activity with you, if I mention you how you are going to write in chat if you want to get to know about the symptoms of COVID. Okay, how you will be approaching to me if you want to know about the COVID symptoms. Then there will be a big list, and everyone will be having different approach to ask the same question. The same way, we need to provide a lot of similar examples which are relating to your COVID symptoms that are stored in my COVID symptoms. This is the one intent I'm having right now. Then there is regarding treatment vaccine. You are asking regarding, is there a COVID vaccine? These are the same, again, similar question, which I clubbed together, pack in an envelope, and that envelope is named as a COVID treatment vaccine. So these all examples are related to when someone asks regarding COVID treatment vaccine. Okay. Then there comes like, although we do have a lot of things, if I show you in content catalog, these are the predefined our intents, which are like system. The backend IBM team upload their pre-trained intent to this model. Okay, these are there to help you out. You can also add this. So if you want to explore this about IBM or Watson Assistant, you can directly simply go to ibmcloud.com and you can create a service for IBM Watson. Okay, Watson Assistant will be there. So in content catalog, you can see there are already COVID-19, 23 intents are already present over here. There is also intent regarding your insurance, regarding customer care, banking, bot control, journal. A lot of things are there already, which means how a user can approach to you. There are some predefined, pre-trained data is already present. So intent is regarding how we can provide an input. Okay. Now, if I talk about your entities, these entities are like when we search for some specific keywords in your normal text. Like if I mention to you, I want to order pizza. So now what I want to order, you will say pizza. Now that pizza is acting as a keyword over. Okay, so these types of keywords we mention over here, or like if I want to visit to a location, I want to check coronavirus cases in a particular location. So that how I'm going to select a location. So that location I need to mention over here first. Okay, that will be an entity. Like if user mention what are the cases in New Delhi. So that New Delhi is a keyword for me. I want to detect New Delhi in my user input. How a user is approaching, for which particular state it is asking for. So which means I need to search a keyword in the user input. So that keywords we mention in our entity part. So we also work with a pattern. I will not explain that. It is more complex for you. It will be a little bit difficult for you to work on pattern. It is like if you want to have a phone number, how you detect a phone number. Like if someone say, this is my phone number, please contact me if you are having some issue. So for that, you work on pattern for a phone number. So dialogue, the main role player of this chatbot is your dialogue, where intended entities are used to analyze user input. They are continuously working. Like whenever I put something in intents and entities, it will train, it will apply deep learning at the back end, and it will train this model. Okay. After that, in this dialogue, what we say, whenever someone will use my particular chatbot, how it need to reply. Like if someone is asking for COVID symptoms, how it needs to reply back to that user, which means the output. That output is set in your dialogue notes. So if I show you my little bit of how this works, like you can see whenever I click on try it, I click on clear. Whenever it start, it mention, hey, I am a healthcare chatbot, which means it is giving me information regarding that this particular chatbot is a healthcare chatbot. I can know that this can work. Like what it can work, I can help you with many things. Like this is the message which I have set, so that whenever you or any person can want to use this chatbot, they know what this chatbot is all about, what this particular screen is all about, what this assistant can handle. So I have mentioned I am a healthcare bot. So if I mention a query regarding COVID-19 cases in Delhi. So now you can see when I mention COVID-19 cases in Delhi, now you can see here come COVID count. It is an intent which is present over here. Already one intent which is in my assistant, which means it has detected this thing that someone is asking about COVID count. Because I mentioned COVID cases in Delhi. It is acting, I am asking for COVID count. So it has automatically detected that the user input is regarding the COVID count. If I click on this, Now you can check the confidence score. The confidence score, like how much it is confident about this answer. Okay, like if I mention to you, what will be the value of 2 cross 5? You will say 10. If I say, are you sure about 10? You will be having a confident yes. You will be having a confident of 1 at that time. If I say 2 cross 5 equals to 20, you'll be saying, no, sir, it is 0. 2 cross 5, 20. You will be saying, no, sir, it is not correct. It will be a confidence score of 0 at that time. Okay, which means you don't have a confidence, and at that time that is the particular correct answer at that time. You will be saying it is 0, so which means that is not a correct answer. Okay, when you are confident about a result or some situations, you need to be at 1. Okay, so how much this machine is confident about COVID case count, which means a user is asking for COVID case count. So it is mentioning it is having a confident about COVID count, and it is 88, 0.88. Okay. And then again, you can see it is asking for a disease COVID. It has also detected that I'm asking for a COVID. And then this COVID, after this, I'm asking for a location daily. Now it has already mentioned regarding output is there. Now it has mentioned if I can also select something, if I want to check any other location for Delhi, Pune, Mumbai, I can also click on this. Okay, let me click on Delhi pack. So if I click on Delhi, you can see 30K. Now you will be having a question in mind, why it is mentioning the 3K count, 3K plus count, why it is not mentioning the correct. See, this chatbot I created as a prototype, how we can integrate this. Okay, how we can work on a user input. If I want to integrate this chatbot with the actual value, then we can also do that. Okay, we can connect to this chatbot to a website where we are constantly getting a COVID cases, and we can connect to that. Okay, over here you can see we do have a 30K. It is showing. Now it is again mentioning, hey user, if you want to ask about anything else, I'm happy to help. Okay, which means again, if I want to know about what will be the symptoms, okay, I'm mentioning symptoms for COVID. See, dear user, we care for you. If I will be doing a mistake, it will be replying back. It will be doing autocorrect also at that time. Okay, I did a mistake over here for spelling, it corrected. Now you can check, it is mentioning what are the symptoms and all. So this, how a chatbot can help a user. Like sometimes we don't feel like there should be a person to whom I can connect. Okay, there is a machine to which can answer to our queries at the time, because a human being is not available 24/7, but a machine can be available. Okay, so with this, I will end up this particular content with you, like how AI is changing this world and how we are also getting attached with artificial intelligence. Okay, so now I guess that's all from my side. If you have anything to ask, you can reply in chat.
Thank you, Ishan. It was a really very knowledgeable session. Is there any query from the participants? I don't think there is any query. Now I would like to invite.
Okay. And it is just a internet connection always.
Ahinsa madam, there is one
Yes, sir.
query. Is there any drawback of chatbot? Student is asking, so you can.
Yes, it is just internet connectivity, nothing else, because chatbots are developed and they are deployed on cloud. So which means as your device is connected with the internet, it is working. When it get disconnected with the internet, it will not work. That's all. Nothing, any other disadvantage of having a chatbot.
If there, yes, there is one more query. Sir, you to really make them smart.
See, there is an implementation of a deep learning at the back end. We just need to provide a data, and it will automatically get trained and it will address your query, which means if I train with good morning, good evening, it will automatically detect what I am about to, what I am saying at that condition. Okay. So it is not necessary every time we need to put a lot of example, like similar thing we need to put. Okay. It will do a deep learning will be processed over there and it will automatically run. It will check if user input mentions something, then it will be automatically give you the best reply of that by having a confidence score. So it just require a one time of investment. That is when we are developing this.
Yes, there is one more query. Can we develop chatbot to run offline on a specific machine like my computer, my laptop, personal laptop?
Yes, you can develop a chatbot in offline mode also, but Watson Assistant will not be available. You need an internet connection for that. If you are working on your laptop and you want it to be developed in your laptop, then you need an internet connection for 24/7. Then you can connect to Watson Assistant through an API, and you can develop your chatbot offline also in your system. Okay, but you need an internet connection just to connect to that deep learning, because your system cannot do a computation at that time, because our systems are having less processor and all, so it can't do a deep learning at that time. So that's all. Otherwise you need to work on different deep learning library and with a programming platform also, like a Python and all.
I think we are done with the queries. Now I
Yeah.
request, thank you so much. I request Mr. Lalit to start with the session. Thank you, Ishan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
Can
can
hear
you
you.
see my screen? Because I'm not able to see my own screen, so you need to tell me if you can see my screen. Is my screen visible to you? Oh, my screen is not visible to you then. People are viewing it.
Your screen and you both are not visible, Lalit.
Yeah, I'll just wondering why is it so. Okay, so I'm here.
You can reshare. You can
Yeah.
reshare. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm there, and I will share it again. And yeah, okay. So I should be. No, that's the wrong one.
Yes, yes. Now you are.
No, but what screen are you looking at? My charts are there?
No.
It's your Cisco WebEx screen.
Yes, I realized that. See, what happens was in my process of trying to reconnect, I ended up doing some switch over. Okay, so I made. Okay. So am I connected now? I can be on the show. You can see me now, right?
Right.
Okay, so
You can share your screen.
yeah.
How come so many screens are coming?
Yes. Okay, let me switch to.
There is a huge echo, Lalit, from your side, and there are a number of screen which are visible. You can close. You can close some screens.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay.
Please log out and log in again.
Here, that it may be happening because you have connected yourself through two devices over WebEx.
Yes, your screen is visible, right?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me now?
Right. Perfectly visible and perfectly audible.
Hello.
Yes, we are getting you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Right.
Okay. So if you can see my screen, I'll just very quickly go into my session. I know we have a very limited time now, so I will try to and just correct me or just tell me if you don't hear me clearly. I think there is some background noise that you can mute other people. So as long as you can. Okay. So I think one of the things which I want to quickly cover is, are you in a position to stop the background sound? Okay. Yeah. So I think. Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So I think it's a very exciting session. As you saw, the power of very quick development of business analytics using tools like Cognos, and then also the very quick development of Chatbots. So let me jump very quickly into the session where we talk about the big data and the ecosystem, which is part of an introductory series of PGDM 2020 program, which is focused on big data analytics. Now, I would say, just to repeat and very simply, and I will build more and more actual examples in this session, that why and managers of today, as it came out clearly, but let me repeat that today we are in the world of analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning. We are in the world of cloud, which has made analytics and AI ML very, very easy to do. And the entire world is undergoing, if you call it digital transformation, almost like wildfire, almost call it a gold rush of California. So anybody who is aligned with this digital transformation now, practically you have opportunity to play a prime role. And of course, everybody's interested, and particularly MBA students are always keen on, is there money in it? And you will see that there's lots of money in it. And Industry 4.0, even though some people are already talking about Industry 5.0. In today's world of these landscape, these are the critical skills. No more just in the realms of IT or computer science students, but particularly managers, because these are the resources you're going to make. And what we're going to do is go through this session in terms of so that you understand the value of or a power of decisions which business managers, the CEOs, the country leaders need to make based on data centric. That is becoming the name of the game. So we will quickly go through why is it so? What is it that we talk about the data centric decision making for management, and how it is done? I know our plan was to cover what you just did in those two sessions, but never mind. I will not go too much into how, because we have to understand that I've been always living in the world of technology and having completed both MBA as well as a computer science degree. As well as I would say that good part of my education at the Cornell was on leadership, and I'll also mention today leadership at the highest level. I'm not talking about leadership at just a political level, highest level, at a country level, at a CEO level of large company, small company, startup. It all hinges around how good you make decisions based on how good data analytics you do. Period. Simple, straight, nothing more. So, and that's what I've been fortunate for last 30 years, started as a database specialist back in IBM Australia, and since then, I've been primarily focused on technologies, you call it, business systems, you call it, but primarily all 30 years I've done data. How do we mine value from data? There's lots of data, but how do we mine value which is of business value? And last 6 years has been very exciting after leaving IBM, spending 25 plus years in Australia, Singapore, India, US. But I'm really having fun, and some part of my time also I spend with IMS, mentoring students, working with faculty, also lots of startups, which and lot more in India, although currently I'm based in Singapore, but good part of my time I'm based in India. And I also teach all the classes. And as of now, since COVID, I've been also consulting to 3 companies in US, particularly their growth in Asia Pacific. And I would say again, why I did mention that point here is it's all centered around cloud and centered around data analytics, even headless commerce. And you might say, what is headless commerce? They're marketing to. But you know what's new thing happening? What you just saw. A chatbot is going out and making buying decisions for you. So those companies do no more see you and recognize your persona and profile you, because you just tell your Google Assistant or Alexa, hey Google Assistant, Alexa, I'm going for a party. In next 2 hours, figure out what's the best deal you can get me for such and such. And that fellow, their assistant goes shopping like a chatbot, and other end, Flipkart or Amazon can't even figure out what's the profile of that buyer. So that's all about headless commerce. And of course, cloud transformation, because all that data we talking about is happening because massive amount of data and big data is becoming available on various clouds. So the entire clouds, and how can I connect cloud from my existing data, which may be on-premise, and advanced applications which are exploiting data and big data are such as augmented reality, virtual reality. So through this process, I'll take you through, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions at the end. And so let's just go very quickly, considering that time is limited. Okay, now because of time, I would try to do a lot more screen shows, because I've tried to capture much of what I wanted to talk in various screens. So what you see here is the agenda, just to give you a perspective of why so much of data, and how did we start from the small data to big data. The small data used to be really in megabytes, about giga and petabytes, and a lot of different factors that have contributed suddenly from small to big data. Social media being one, like Facebook, Twitter, interconnected devices which are growing in large numbers, $30 billion RFID tags, you name it. But there's one more reason why big data has been growing, because people have been started to recognize there is a value in it. Otherwise, data on its own has not much meaning. So more and more algorithms, more and more analytical algorithms, prediction, and artificial intelligence type of technologies, you call it, or methods, you call it, and that's further creating value. And that's the reason why leapfrog is happening from lots of data, but more value. More value means more data. More data means more value. So it's kind of one leading the other. One more reason why it has been, applications are coming out from different domains: healthcare, finance, telco, retail, and social media. Any area, any domain you position, there is some application. In fact, I'm very much involved with recently I'm working with the university NTU in Singapore, working with another university in Rajasthan, in Udaipur, and we are doing a heritage of Chittorgarh. What do we do to protect that heritage which is eroding? So instead of going down, we are applying lots of AI, machine learning, collecting data and trying to protect, also assess what what pollution is doing, what kind of traffic is doing, lightings are impacting those buildings. So any domain you take it, now more and more data-centric applications are happening. So we'll go through some of those. And I think one point I like to make, because this is the focal point of this presentation, is big data and the ecosystem. You see, we AI and ML, and we still talk about that. But you see, there are always unsung heroes, and those are like things like how well the data is designed, what's OLAP, what is OLTP, what's predictive, what is ETL tools, what's the data pipeline, how do I improve the quality of data, how do I remove duplicates from data for dedupe, how do I do the data lineage, where is all this data coming from, is somebody injecting any poison in that data, spoiling the data, and then you realize that you're making big decisions based on that data. So all sorts of technologies are emerging. In fact, the word which is getting popular along with big data is like data lake. Yeah, the very large data warehouses, which has been happening over 10 years, but data lake is something which is happening, which is lots and lots of data thrown it into a specific store, which allows you to do lots of data science, AI, ML. Why I'm mentioning all that? Of various technologies or various methods which are creating the value, which are necessary. Otherwise, you maybe end up creating garbage in, garbage out. So all those kinds of supplementary technologies which come together in order for you to create data analytics, AI, and ML. So that's like a high level which we covered today. But let's say if you were doing a 2-year course or a 1.5-year course, you could be getting into why, what, and how. And it is very important from a business point of view. So technologies are there today. Programming, you don't have to do much, but you still need to understand the business domain. What are the factors you're looking for? What sort of improved performance metrics you want from your business or from any government department or a medical situation, so that you are able to get value out of your data. So all these MDM, trust, data governance, all are very essential items which in a detailed study or a year plus also you undergo, so that you get skilled into achieving those. Now, you might say that we've been talking a lot about technologies. It's all great to get technologies, etc. But is there somebody who's wondering, is there any rokra in this? Is there money? I mean, is this data field everybody's talking about? Is it only for fun or for mobile phone to play around fun stuff? Well, if you have been following what happened last month, then I don't have to say any more. Snowflake, which is known for big data, also very well known for data lake, went IPO. And this time they went on NYSE, not on NASDAQ. And as the CNN reported on 17th, it went on IPO and it became, as you can read, the biggest software IPO ever. It broke all the records. All the records have been broken. And that one small company focused on data, and nothing but data. Unlike clouds and unlike Google's, etc. All this is focused on is data. It allows you to do everything related to data, data science, data, AI, ML, predictive analytics. But imagine the value. That day, it created its valuation at $70 billion. Yeah, the price has gone a little bit, but still it is 69.7 as of today. So there is lots of money in it. So guys, whoever you're attending here, there's a lot of money on the table for you to do that. And what you see on the right side are the pictures. A car is no more a part. Car is made of lots of different kinds of software, etc. Are not just sources, but they become source for the big data which is there to be mined. So that high level view, whatever I can tell you anything about in my session is covered. So if you suddenly decide to disconnect, I think you got most value out of this one chart. But I'll try to cover some of these points again to emphasize a little bit more on what, and a little bit more on why as well as how. Let me start with something where I spent 2 years, and that expresses yesterday's CEOs versus today's CEO. I spent some time as a lead person from an oil and gas company not far from Singapore, somewhere between Singapore and India. And the CEOs of today, they are no more making simple decisions. They are the company owns oil fields, and CEO sitting in the headquarters wants to make a decision that there are 30% less oil is coming out. Pumps are not working. Some pumps are not working. He wants to know on a real-time basis how much money is he losing, not just which pumps are not working, should I go and repair. But he needs to compare what oil is coming out, what the prices are coming from Sensex type of market or a Nifty type of the oil they are exploring. And then he needs to decide, shall I go and send people to repair by sending large boats, etc. Sure, he may want to save money, which is maybe $5 million a day, but can he afford to go and repair when there could be high tide today or tonight, or he'll have to wait for 10 days where the weather is not bad? So that means he's analyzing weather models coming from weather companies, weather bureaus, as well as analyzing stream data coming from markets as the oil prices are changing, as well as he goes into his SAP, which has all the data in it. And at the same time, he wants to, in his air-conditioned office, wants to have a big dashboard, which is on the right side, so that he can make very solid risk-mitigated decisions almost on a real-time basis. These was not the job of CEOs when I used to deal with 15 years ago, even 10 years ago. But today, CEOs, the senior managers are making such complex decisions, and they need lots more analytics on the big data they're collecting. So I'm not going to go too much into it, but I spent 2 years real-time sensors from the oil fields and the sea to weather models to Sensex type of data, and then build such dashboards for its CEOs, for its CEO and various other field executives at the sea, at different centers, so that they can make executive decisions quickly. So that's an example of oil and gas scenario. Now, I'm not going to go too much into, we have killed enough on this topic. All I can say is there's huge data, all types of data, variety, velocity, veracity. But most important thing is, all this is of no value unless we can identify value. So keep that in mind. Data for collecting data, in fact, it's so much more than you can handle. And again, as Professor Dwivedi also talked about this, and it is growing like crazy as various devices and IoT devices are going crazy in all fields, in medical to marketing to banking to in whichever way you take it. But I want to stop here. But what is the current trend? So small data has been there, but 80% of the world's data is unstructured. So all our old style organizations have mastered how to do well with the small data, but they're not still good with unstructured data, the big data. And many of this big data cannot be processed in a traditional computer system, which companies or the banks or the governments have, that they require different kinds of processing. And where problem and opportunity for you is. The opportunity is, and the problem is that only few in the world, 1 in 2, meaning 50% of the data is being used by managers or by the country leaders or by the hospital managers or the doctors. Meaning, lot more data still need to be analyzed, and that data is growing every day. Also, you say that there is awareness among organizations that CIOs and CEOs now understand the value. So they have created a vision that in future I need to sort it out. So 83% of people surveyed showed that yes, BI and analytics is part of my strategic vision. Now the question is, why? Because also studies have found that those organizations, those leaders who are using data analytics times more successful than their competitors. Now, what does it say? You cannot afford to not make decisions based on data today. Past was different. Today's manager cannot be hero style. Oh, I'm a manager. I know gut feel. I've learned it from my father, my grandfather. It's in my blood. Finito, kaput, those things don't work today. Yesterday's model don't work today. Today is data oriented. So please make a note of that right in your head, because without data, if you make decisions, those businesses are doomed to die. I'm not going into the terminologies again because we have talked about it. It used to be flat files in 60s and 70s, and we started relational in 70s, and it ruled until late 90s, and then warehouses started appearing in late 90s. But now since 2000, big data has been ruling, but there's lots of opportunities. Call it, and data can be at rest. We can call it ocean, or data can be like a river, which can be continuously moving from Himalayas to Bay of Bengal. And sometimes you have to chase that river and find analytics as the water flows. You can't afford to collect it always. So you have to do data analytics, not just in data lake, which is a calm, but also in the rivers, which we call data streams. So analytics needs to be done in all areas. That's why there are various terminologies: OLTP, online analytic processing, real-time analytic processing. So this entire domain is good. Now, since we talked about Hadoop, I think for the interest of this session, we should try to understand that Hadoop, and there are various other derivatives of Hadoop to big data, but Hadoop being one of the very popular open source projects, and Hadoop allows large amounts of data to be stored in a distributed cluster. Unlike traditional computing, where you bring data to your computer processor and you process it, here it's a reverse. The data is stored in, because there's a massive amount of data, so you break it down into clusters and store it in clusters. And then you send your processors to process there. I hope you understand. It's like upside down. Instead of bringing data to processing, you take processing to data. But these Hadoop clusters are so efficient that you can break down your work or break down your data into many small components at a very high speed, and then you bring that together when it comes to insights or analytics. So at simplistic form, it's a massive cluster of distributed files, which are broken down, and there is a big architecture of that. In addition to that big architecture, and there are terminologies like STFS, MapReduce, etc., but it makes things simple for users. As an end user, you don't really need to know much about, and that's what one of the beauty of Hadoop and rest of the systems like Spark is. You just think as if it's a massive pool of data which you are analyzing in a very simplistic fashion. Also, Hadoop comes with an ecosystem, meaning how do you bring data from, let's say, Facebook or a Twitter and load into Hadoop? How do you Hadoop? So pulling data from different sources, loading it into Hadoop, managing Hadoop, doing queries on the data which is stored in Hadoop and systems like Spark using SQL. How do you manage those clusters? And all kinds of funny names, which are because of open source projects. Hadoop is actually a baby elephant, and then there's a Mahout, just like we have Mahout or sitting on the top of elephant. So all kinds of tools, which we call them ecosystem projects, which allow you to simplify, and you don't have to worry too much about programming aspects of Hadoop. In fact, lots and lots of organizations are using Hadoop, from Google, where it started from, IBM, which has given big SQL to Hadoop, so that your access to Hadoop is to all companies, modern companies you can think of are users of Hadoop. And this is more for the people who are into details of data. RDBMS is still relational database is still used. It's like, system of records. So if you're talking about storing your customers of a bank, then you want to do that in a very curated, very nice fashion. So some of the data is stored in RDBMS, but all the different transactions you do or various interests of the customers, does he have belonging to this sports club or which IPL team he or she follows, all those kinds of additional data, 360-degree data about that person, you may very well store in a low cost and a large volume data set, which are part of Hadoop or similar kind of system. So again, like RDBMS, people are, in fact, 100% SQL-like language you can use now to access the data, but then other languages you can look like Hive, Scala, Pig, all kinds of languages which are interesting languages which people can use, which are friendly to use. So from a different angle, you still make decisions which part of your data you store it in RDBMS, but more and more large amounts of data you're storing in Hadoop. So we park our discussion on Hadoop and RDBMS at that level. So it's not like it's replacement of RDBMS. Some people mistake that as if everything can be stored and RDBMS will go away. RDBMS will not go away. And in fact, SQL is a beautiful language, which I would encourage everyone, every MBA student to learn, because it's based on a relational theory, and it's going to be there for a very, very long time because it makes sense. Now talk about what exactly is 4.0. It's more of a framework. It's more of a way we communicate. One was 200 years ago when everything factories were powered by steam. Then 2 was electric power, and 3 maybe started in 1960s, where computers became part of all the businesses and factories. And more what you see now, we are into industry 4.0, where factories and all kinds of society is wired by different devices. So IoT is the driver. So IoT is the driver for industry 4.0, and everything is digital. The machineries connect to each other through IoT devices, and all sorts of life we live in, which is integrated with machines, factory work, our going to work with Ola, Uber, everything is kind of, we can't. As we discussed, there are lots and lots of devices which are growing, so that data which is generating is not slowing down. This is really a big picture. So how does it all come together? We have, as we have discussed, that beginning to end. So I would give you a slant of the title today. So beginning, we had these kinds of applications, some relational database applications, some OLTP applications. So there were applications and some data, etc. But with more and more.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, there is a humble request. Please conclude the session because students have to join their online classes. Some people have to join their online classes.
I think I will try to close it in 5-7 minutes. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this is the beginning, but now with the big data platform, that data is curated, improved, qualitative, and you create data warehouses. At the same time, we collect real-time data which may be coming in from various sources here. And in this particular zone, big data platform zone, then we do all kinds of analytics. So source to landing areas or sandbox you want to call it. And on top of that data, we do simple analytics, descriptive analytics, predictive, how does the future look like, prescribe what would it be and what we need to do, like in case of COVID, and cognitive as we move forward in the world of analytics towards society 5.0. And then there are various kinds of tools like what you got a bit of a flavor of Watson now. If I go into a specific example, this is where we mentioned that the landing zone can contain Hadoop, the data, you may create some in the data warehouse, some you start directly working and doing all kinds of analytics. And I would not go too much into any domain now, but yes, in healthcare, it's becoming extremely valuable. Precision medicine, where a particular medicine is designed for an individual, because right now we just take 200 mg of this and 2 combiflams, and no, each individual needs a separate one, but only if you can analyze that individual as well as what exact needs are, and this is where big data analytics is getting applied. Since you are MBA aspirant students, very important that to identify who are your customers, what product should be selling to them, how will it be sold, what are the channels, when, and all that is done using all kinds of analytics. In fact, chatbots, there are lots of chatbots which can do all this kind of stuff. If you want to read among all the top technologies, this is the source. And one more chart, and before I close, I mean, this is, we don't have time, but yeah, it's a fun chart. That this is all that on the top says the Samudra Manthan, or when the ocean was churned out between gods and devils, putting together as a team. But it was worth it. It was done over 1,000 years. But look, even few drops of nectar which fell into 4 rivers, even today people go out and get value out of that. So to some degree, it is like churning. While big data is like ocean, it's like churning that and finding maybe few drops of very valuable insights which you may get. But as you can see from this example, that probably the churning was worth it, even though they only managed to get few drops of nectar from churning. This morning I saw something which you will relate with the COVID scenario. And this morning only I was reading my LinkedIn and saw this article. And it's only 10 days ago, but it's very interesting to read what this professor of Harvard University School of Management, I mean, we talk about MBA, he is a very well-known professor in Harvard School, Business School. But what he's saying is that consider how Donald Trump, Boris, and this is a Brazilian president, dismissed the virus because they thought, I'm the boss, I'm the king, I know everything. And we don't care. Old style management school. Versus people like Angela Merkel for Germany, Jacinda from New Zealand and Finland. Oh, by the way, all of them happen to be women, so I'm not going to say that women are better managers, but these people took a data thousands of lives. I'm not saying it to the professor of MBA saying that. So my point is, take some of this message to heart. If you're considering becoming a manager, which I'm sure everybody does, I think it's time that you get hold of. Programming is no more required. In fact, now there's a language called no code, where you just speak and programs get generated. So no more programming is a major issue for a BA, BCom, engineer. All of you should be considering getting quite deep into the entire discipline of big data analytics as a topic. And with that, I wish you all the best for your careers ahead of you. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, sorry, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, sir. From the participant.
Okay, now I welcome our expert speaker, Mr. Surya Gaur, ex-research data scientist, Carolina Institute of Technology, USA, to give students some hands-on experience of the technology Mr. Surya Gaur has done BTech from SRM University and completed his Masters in Computer Science from University of Central Florida. He has also worked in CSC and Aperio as a data analyst. Thank you so much, Adit sir, for a wonderful session. Thank you, sir.
Hello, hi guys, how are you? Are you able to see my screen?
No.
Screen has not been shared, please.
Okay, I think I did it now. Yeah, I think I did it now.
Yes, perfectly visible.
Yeah, so I hope you are doing very well in this time of pandemic. So let's go toward the introduction to machine learning. And first of all, little about myself. I done my master's from University of Central Florida, and as a data science research analyst in Carolina Institute of Technology and University of South Carolina. So basically, what most of the time I work there is to putting the probabilities on the cancer data. So we have, I think, lots of the cancer data images, and we have to put the probability that, okay, if this cancer is critical, how much critical it is, and if this cancer is normal, how much normal it is, and if this is a level 1 cancer, how much level 1 cancer is it is. Because what usually happen in most of the scenario that you have multiple hospitals, and in multiple hospitals patients go there, they submit their biopsy, and you only have 1 or 2 cancer research center. So the people who work there in cancer research center, they have to go through every images one by one. So what we have to do is to optimize a queue, in which the queue, what we have to do, that the critical cases will come first and the non-critical cases will come second. So that's the thing that I did while working in Carolina Institute and South Carolina University. So let's go toward the machine learning. And people are asked many times people ask me that why machine learning from now. So it is not that most of the people start working in machine learning in this century. Also, people make their assumption in 1960s, 1980s, but at that time we don't have that much of computational power, and we don't have that much of progressive algorithm system. And also in 21st century, we have a parallel computing with the means of GPU, in which it make everything easy. Because most of the time, if you run a machine learning algorithm, it took, I think, hefty amounts of days, or even in some algorithm, it took weeks. So people all around the world, researchers, scientists, they are working around to make machine learning not to work in a sequential manner, but also to work in a parallel manner. So if you put this computing into a parallel manner, it will be like really good, and it will take less time. And in this case, graphical processing units play a very important role. So basically, what is machine learning? The basic definition of machine learning is to automatically learn and improve without being explicitly programmed. So we have the historical data. Let's say we have the historical data of cats and dogs, and we use convolution neural network. And in the end, our algorithm can easily classify that which images are belong to cats and which images are belong to dogs. But from now, you don't have to explicitly go and select images one by one and label it. Now your computer know, now your algorithm know, and they can classify it between any levels. Most of the machine learning methods are divided into 3 parts: supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised. Also, there is a reinforcement learning also, but people are working on the reinforcement learning. And I think reinforcement learning could be the part of anyone. It could be a part of supervised or unsupervised or semi-supervised learning. So yeah, so basically what is the supervised learning? Now, the supervised learning is that we know about our label. So we have we know our target value. So if we have the images, we know that this image is dog, and if we have images of cat, the computer should know that this images are cat. But in the real world entity, lots of the data is related to unsupervised learning, and it is like very expensive to label the data. So what people usually do is that they use semi-supervised learning kind of algorithm, where what they do is to train a model first of all into a supervised learning methodology, and then they put some unsupervised learning training example into the system, and they find it out that is the algorithm is perfectly classifying those unsupervised learning, and that's how the supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised learning works. So unsupervised learning, the most important example is like most of the news system or pattern recognition system. So you have the news, and there are many news related to sports, some news related to stocks, some news related to politics. So it is really hard that people go towards every articles and read it throughout and then find it out, okay, maybe this article is talking about 40% of sports, 40% of politics, or maybe 20% of others. So usually what they do, they use a supervised learning to label it out, and then they use unsupervised learning methodologies, and they combine this phenomena in or maybe a fusion to make a semi-supervised learning algorithm. So I think there's there's a Google search engine which is show that only 14 or 15% of the data that the Google have related to the news, they are only a supervised learning, that people already know that is this article belong to some which categories, but most of the data is related to unsupervised learning. So that's how the machine learns. So let me tell you how the machine learn. We have some real world problem, and we can take this, we store our data into databases, flat files, into cloud, into servers, and then we use pre-processing. So basically what does a pre-processing mean is that you have to, like, one of your entity is telling you about the weights, and one of the entities telling about the height. But if you look into it, weights are measured into different categories and heights are measured into different categories. Both have the different unit. So they use a min-max system, or they use mean 0 and variance 1 to pre-process out to make those, to make the data set into one entity, or to make into a one unit. And then most of the time people do a dimension reduction. So there are many dimension reduction methodology. One is principal component analysis, singular vector decomposition, autoencoders, etc. Now, why people usually do the dimension reduction? The one thing is that if you have the 100 features, and if you provide the 100 features to a machine, somehow your model is going to learn those extra features that it don't want to learn, and your model will going to overfit. So overfit is mean that it works well in the validation data, but it don't work well in the test data. So people use a dimension reduction technologies to reduce the number of features while training the machine learning algorithm. Then you use a model learning technologies, like for most of the time CNN, you use DenseNet, BGG16, AlexNet, and then you test your model into a test data using different validation technologies, and then in the end you will come up with your analysis results. So that's how most of the time the learning process of machine learning algorithm works. And this is only for the supervised learning and semi-supervised learning. For unsupervised learning, you have the clustering of data, and you use different kind of strategies to find it out that those variables are included into a clusters or not. So most of my experience is related to computer vision, and what does computer vision mean is that it is a disciplinary field which deals in images and videos, and you don't want a human visual systems now, and you automate your process, you make algorithm learn by itself so they can classify the correct label. And I think this thing is started in 1998 by Linnet, and then the VGG16 is come in 2012. Why it take 14 years is that in 1998 we don't have that kind of technology, we don't have parallel computing, we don't have that much of storage power. And from 2002 to 2008, there are many computer vision algorithms which are stand out that it can even beat the human intelligence. Like there is a data set which is known as ImageNet, and if you go to that ImageNet data and you find out some images, and it's hard for human to find it out that is this images belongs to husky or is this images belongs to wolf. But with the use of machine learning algorithm, they can correctly classify that is this belong to husky or belong to wolf. So yeah, they are my computer vision is going like skyrocketing in the field of deep learning. And many real world example right now is autonomous vehicle, facial recognition, real-time sports tracking, medical diagnosis. You have medical data and you have to find it out that in which part there is a anomaly. So basically, this is the architecture of convolution neural network. Let's say we have images of 2, and what does this 28 into 1 is showing that the 1 is mean a grayscale image. It's a black and white image, and if it's have 3 here, it's our RGB image, means it's a colored image. And 28 is a height and width, and then you put them into a convolution. You have to put a convolution, and you can use many kernels. You can use 5x5 kernel, you can use 3x3 kernel, and then for the dimension reduction, you use a max pooling layer. I will tell you what is like how will you do the max pooling and how will you do the convolution, and you can make and you can stack lots of these blocks, convolution blocks, max pool blocks, and then again convolution blocks, max pool block, and in the end you have to flatten your images. So basically, what does the flatten of images means that you have a matrix of 10 by 10. Now you convert that matrix of 10 by 10 into 100 by 100 by 1. So that's what means the flatten of images, and then you stack some more fully connected network, and your label is always depend upon number of classes. So let's see, like in MNIST data set where you have to recognize the handwritten. So you have, I think you have 10 digits are there, 0 to 9. So your last layer, your label should be 10. In some time you have to build a binary classifier, your label should be 2. So that's how you build your model. And this is the example, like the kernels I'm talking about. There are many different kernel people can use. The identity kernel is a very it's not a very special kernel, like what images you give to it, it will give you back that kind of images. But there is a many Gaussian kernels are there, sharpened kernels are there, edge detection kernel are there. So if you have your images and you convert that into a matrix, and then you start multiplying with these matrix 3 by 3, 3 by 3, and sometimes 5 by 5, it will allow the convolution neural network to detect the edges or to sharpen the images. So basically, I use a PyTorch, and PyTorch and TensorFlow are the two famous deep neural network a programming language or tools, and I think it's solely depend on there. They will randomly put those networks, randomly put those matrix, and they will multiply by itself. So this is how like convolution layer is built. You have a very big pixel to pixel matrix, and then you this yellow one is a 3 by 3, and you have a matrix of 1 0 1 0 1 0. You can build this matrix by your own, and then you started multiplying it take by every padding and strides of those images. And after multiplying and adding it, you will get this convolute features. And that I say that you have to use some dimension reduction technology. So people can use the max pooling or average pooling. In most of the part, average pooling have better result as compared to the max pooling. So if you look this example, where like 12, 28, 12, if we do the max pooling, we will select that 20 here. Yeah, 30, 0, 0, 2, the max pooling will select the 30 here. In average pooling, you have to add those things and divide it by the number of height and width. So these are some famous convolution neural network. Linet is the network which has come in 1998 and which started building the algorithm in a direction of computer vision. And then then AlexNet came in 2012, then VGG16 and VGG19 came in 2014, ResNet came, DenseNet came, and this DenseNet and ResNet, they are like state-of-art architecture. In some of the images, human can visibly have confusion results, but this ResNet and DenseNet will give you a proper result. So their power of labeling to the images is much better as compared to the humans. And most of the part, when you are using these models, you don't have to build this model from the start. You have to use the trained weights, because these models are so big, the metrics are so big that even it's take like maybe in some laptops or in some system, it will take, I think, month or more than a month to fully train. So the next is a natural language processing. So deep learning is not only work in the sides of video and images, they also work in a field of languages. And one of the best examples that I will give you that in 2015 and 2016, Expedia bring a very irritable ad in USA, and lots of the people say that they don't like this ad. And what Expedia people do is that they build a binary classifier, and they use app scraping tools to take all the data from the net, find it out that where they are lacking behind, like what part of the app, what part of the advertisement that people are not liking about. They find it out that it's very heavy. It's take very long time to load. Some says that they have to use a proper language. So these kinds of analysis people can do with use natural language processing. Also, they can translate language from one language to another. So like if in Google, if you go and you post some message in English and you want translation in French, Google use a transformer attention model to change to translate whatever the sentence or whatever the paragraph you give to them. Natural language processing models sometimes also work in a time series data. So basic architecture in NLP mostly are recurrent neural network, LSTM, gated recurrent units, transformer attention network. This is like the most important network. It's a game changer. Now the problem with the RNN and LSTM is that they are sequential networks. So like their next stage is depend on the previous stage. So it's mean that you can't put RNN and LSTM into a parallel computing. So you have to build a LSTM model, sequential model for it, and this will take lots of time, and also the efficiency of these two models is not really good. But in 2017, Google Brain's team come up with a transformer attention model, and it changed all the stuff Now people don't really uses RNN or LSTM these days. They use transformer model, they use BERT, which is dependent on the transformer model. They use a GPT-2 and they use a GPT-3. So even the GPT-3 came maybe previous year, and it is a so highly efficient model that it can write the programming language by itself. So this is the architecture of sequence to sequence model, which is a transformer. All you need, basically, you have input. You have the input embeddings are there. Then you have a multi-head attention. I will let you know what does the multi-head attention is, and then you put that into a feed-forward network, and then you put that thing into. So this part is called the encoder, and this second part is called the decoder. So what does the encoder means that when you have to translate a language from English to French, you put that English sentence into the encoder, and the decoder will find it out. Decoder will decode it into another language. It could be Korean, it could be Mandarin, it could be Hindi, it could be French. So that's how this transformer model work. And the most important part is this multi-head attention. So what does the multi-head attention is a self-attention. So you have a matrix of it and you randomize your matrix, and then you you multiply your input matrix with your randomized matrix, and you have to do with 3 times, and you have to put the random seeds for everyone, and then you will get the query, you will get the key, then you will get the value. Then you will have to multiply the query and key and then softmax it. Basically, what does the softmax is that whatever your features are, the total sum of that feature or of that row will be 1. So it is very useful while you are doing the probability distribution or working in the field which is deal with the probabilities. So
Mr. Surya, it is a humble request. Can you please conclude as we are getting?
Sure. It's just like 2 minutes.
Okay.
So this is what it is like. It's through the softmax. Then you have to multiply it's with the value pair, and then you will get your matrix. Now. Generative adversarial network is also a branch in the deep learning, and most of the people say that in the last 10 years, it is the most astonishing research done by the MIT group. Now, why people use GAN? Because most of the time we don't have that much of data that we come in some kind of the conclusion. So what the GAN is that they started creating the fake data, and generator is a thing which started creating the fake data. Discriminator is a thing which will try to discriminate between what is a fake data and real data, and there is a game is played between these two these two decoders, and in the end generator started making those images which really look like a real data. So let's say that this is the fake data I have, and it is at the epoch 0. So like my model is just started training, and in the epoch 10, so basically epoch is a full for loop. It is a back propagation. So after epoch 10, these images are something like that, and after epoch 40, these images are something like that, and after 100 epochs, generator are started creating the real images. So like you can look into it, this is 0, this is 8, and this is 7. If you train it more, like maybe 200 epoch, 300 epoch, it will be really hard for the discriminator to find it out at which images are real and which images are fake. So yeah, GAN is like really helpful, and it also uses in many big technologies lab and mostly used in a healthcare system. So yeah, that's all from my side. I hope you like my session. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Surya, for sharing your knowledge with us on NLP and machine learning concepts. We have shared the link for the quiz. It is activated for 15 minutes. After that, it will automatically expire. Now, I would like to request our mentor, Dr. Tapan Kumar Nayak, Dean Academics, for his concluding remarks. Please, sir.
Just a minute, Preeti.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Preeti. I hope I'm audible, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, audible. Thank you. It would not be really fair to say it your concluding remarks. I believe this is a beginning. This is a new beginning, in fact, and we'll have lot many more sessions on this particular domain called big data analytics or data science. So at the outset, let me thank all the organizers, Dr. Nipen Dwivedi, Dr. Silesh Sharma, Preeti, Ahimsa, for this wonderful, very knowledgeable and interesting, resourceful webinar on big data analytics from the beginning. I would like to start my remarks on a very famous quote by Bruce Lee. I hope all of you know Bruce Lee, right? So Bruce Lee once said, Lalit is laughing, I'm smiling. Bruce Lee once said that instead of buying your children all the things you never had, you should teach them all the things you never been taught. So why I'm saying this? Because we could not been learn all these things which you people are getting this chance. And let me tell you, IMS Ghaziabad is so committed to disseminate, to pass on the knowledge on current topics like big data or data science. Let me tell you that this big data analytics and data science has been immersed in such a way that this has been considered as the fuel for everyday academic and research life of ours. So this is a very pertinent topic, and once again I would like to appreciate all our organizers and all our expert speakers. Okay, Mr. Lalit is here. Then we had Mr. Saurya, Ms. Shefali, then Dr. Nipendra, Mr. Raman, Mr. Ishan Beth. Okay, in fact, we also were fortunate to listen Lalit once again. So let me just try to summarize. I try my best to summarize what our expert speakers have highlighted in these last 3 hours, almost 3 hours long sessions. Starting from Dr. Nipendra, he had started from the scratch, big data from the scratch, how to analyze the raw data and draw a conclusion out of it. He also has thrown light on different types of data like structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. Then moving to Shefali, she very interestingly thrown light on these 5 V's of big data, right? Variety, veracity, volume, velocity, finally lead to value. Okay. Then we had Mr. Raman Singh, who has also thrown light on business intelligence, which is used to extract, transform, and lead the raw data. Then also to improve the strategies in our day-to-day business practices. He has also highlighted the concept of data mining architecture, okay, which has been considered as one of the most important part of this big data and data science these days. And moving to Mr. Ishan Beth, he has highlighted on artificial intelligence, to be very specific on human intelligence, chatbot, IBM Watson, etc. It was very learningful, very resourceful. And we had Mr. Saurya, who just now finished his talk on machine learning. And as I said, we were fortunate to listen the repository of knowledge, Mr. Lalit. So thank you so much, Mr. Lalit, once again, from the bottom of the heart from IMS Ghaziabad, that you talked about the big data and ecosystem transformation from data to big data. So thank you so much once again. And I also would like to thank Anukaji and Damodar Danisi for being the instrumental to bring all the resource persons here under one roof, those who have highlighted the most important concepts. I think we have we have named this particular webinar that Big Data Analytics from the beginning. So I think we have started our journey today. And my appreciation to all the conveners, Dr. Nipend, Dr. Siles, Preeti, Ahimsa, okay, and all other faculty colleagues, staff colleagues for their immense support to make this 3 hours long, 3.5 hours long webinar today. And my last but not the least, my much appreciation goes to, in fact, it should be, I should call it a big thank to all the big data listeners today. So thank you all and God bless you. Over to you, Preeti, once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Shilesh Sharma, convener, to post the vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Respected Director, sir, Dean Academics, Dean MCA, distinguished speakers, faculty members, and participants, a very good afternoon to all. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks for this wonderful session of online certification program on Big Data Analytics. I, Dr. Shilesh Kumar Sharma, on behalf of IMS family and my own behalf, express my sincere thanks to distinguished speaker Mr. Lalit Yagnik, Ms. Anuka Kumar, Ms. Shefali Datta, Mr. Raman Singh, Mr. Ishan Ved for sharing their valuable thoughts on big data, Hadoop architecture, ecosystem, and AI by sparing their precious time with us. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Mr. Saur Gaur and Dr. Nipin Dwivedi for their wonderful explanation on big data analytics. I extend my special thanks to Mr. Damodar Dani and IBM Corporation for providing this platform to nurture the future technocrats of our country. I also express my sincere thanks to all the participants for showing their interest in this online certification program. I'm very grateful to our director, sir, Dean Academics, Dean MCA for their guidance and overall support. I extend my special thanks to convener of this program, Dr. Nipin Dwivedi, Ms. Preeti Shiroi, and Ms. Aisha Bharadwaj for making this event grand successful. I also extend my special thanks to Mr. Sarath Kumarji, supporting IT staff and anchors for its flawless execution. Once again, thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for sparing your valuable time and your enthusiastic participation. Stay healthy and stay blessed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
उसके भी कुछ
So thank you, everyone. We'll meet again in next event. Thank you all. Please.